From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets. Yo, yo, yo. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. And woman. Yeah, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. The doctor's in the house. Let's get right. Let's get right. All right, so let's check this out. You know, first off, we always got to start off the stream every single day, every single stream with a nice little prayer. Just to show our gratitude to the one above, you know. So please bow your heads. If you indulge, if not, you know, just chill out for a little bit. Through Jesus' name, thank you, Lord, for all the blessings that we have received, will receive, and are receiving, Lord. Thank you for letting us have another beautiful day that we got to enjoy. Hopefully, we got to also appreciate and spend some time with our loved ones, and just look around us sometimes when we're feeling down, and just acknowledge and accept the blessings that we receive, you know, and take it all in, and know that no matter what we're going through, it could always be worse. It could be better too, but it could always be worse. And some people would give their life, you know, to be in the situation that we are complaining about. So thank you, Lord, for all those blessings in Jesus' name, and God bless those countries that are war torn and those that are going through some difficult times. You know, bless the health of all of us and our families, our parents, our children, our nieces, our nephews, our cousins, and our friends. In Jesus' name, everybody in between. In Jesus' name, continue to bless us and continue to keep us thankful. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, 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 amen. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let me check this. Let me make sure this thing is working. Because I don't know if my chat been giving me trouble today. So I want to make sure that it's actually working. Multi-platform chat is in read-only mode, and it doesn't seem like it's working. So if you're on the YouTube side and I do not respond, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because for some reason I'm not seeing it on my end. Man, I knew that junk was too good to be true. What the heck? Hold on. I don't know why it's not working. Let me try again. And just type some stuff and see if it works. Because if that's the case, we could just do it like this. Man, what the heck is going on? Yeah, it's not showing up on the YouTube side. I wonder why is that? And if it does, it might show up late. So let me see if I could, before we get started, let me see if I could bring up the chat. Oh man, that's not good. I don't know why it's been tripping today. I don't know why. It was tripping earlier as well. In order, the only way I think I could fix it is if I end the stream, but I don't want to end the stream. So let's see if I could. I don't know why the chat's not working, y'all. I don't know why the chat's not working. This junk is annoying. Huh. That's very weird. It's okay. It's okay. We just gonna use the phone. We just gonna use the phone as a chat then. We gonna make it work, you know? You gotta make it work sometimes. You gotta make it work. So we just gonna use the phone as a way to look at our chat today, because the chat's been acting up. Hopefully everything else is still working fine. And please let me know if something's going off or not popping like it's supposed to be. All right, so check this out. So today I have some stuff I want to talk about, man. I want to talk about, today they did the open workouts for the 5v5. I'm looking forward to that. That's what I want to talk about, the 5v5 open workout. I want to start off the show with that, man. And the 5v5 open workout has been kind of, I don't know, I mean, of course, I don't really make much out of the open workouts, but, I'm pretty certain on who I think is going to win, as far as the matches. And they're all interesting matchups, but, I'm pretty confident that Ray Ford is going to beat Nick Ball. But that's the thing with boxing, right? The more you watch, the more you become a little shaky with your pick. At least I do, because then you start listening to what people have to say, the experts have to say, what the boxers themselves have to say, and sometimes they'll convince you, man. Why they convince themselves. And I'll tell you what. Let's start off with Ammo Williams. Or no, he changed his name. Sorry, he changed his name from Austin Ammo Williams to Austin Tiger Williams. And man, he looks like he's been talking crazy. I was like, man, I don't know if Hamza Shiraz is going to win or Austin is going to win, Austin Williams. I always thought that this was like the most competitive fight. This is one that to me is the most up in the air for me personally. But man, either Austin is going to win in devastating fashion or he going to look crazy, because he been talking crazy. So I think I was leaning towards Hamza Shiraz. But now I don't really know, But with Zhang and Wilder, I'm going for Wilder. But I think Zhang, I like them both. But I think Zhang's gonna win. And then Ray Ford and Nick Ball, I think Ray Ford's gonna win. But another one they had me little Willie Hutchinson and Craig Richards. I don't know. I will lean towards Craig Richards from an experience standpoint. But like I said, his most notable fights are losses. I think he has 3 losses. One I don't know of his opponent, but the other 2 are Joshua Buatsi, who's a good fighter, and Dmitry Bivol, of course, is a good fighter on the pound for pound list. So out of them, to me, his most notable fights are his losses. And Willie Hutchinson has a loss as well, but I'm not familiar with him at all. So that one's I had up in the air, but I'm leaning towards Craig Richards on that one. Craig the Spider Richards, and then following that, what's up with this stuff, man? It's tripping. And then following that, we have Hrgovic and Dubois. Now, I had Hrgovic this whole time, but now the way Dubois talking, man, I'm like, hold on, man. And Dubois looked good against Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Granted, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, he's not the best opponent. He's not the most formidable opponent, but he's still a good fighter. And Daniel Dubois, I feel like that was I don't want to say a coming out party, but that was like him saying, yeah, I'm here now, because people had doubts with Daniel Dubois. And I feel like Daniel Dubois might really have a legitimate chance to beat Hrgovic, man. So I don't know, man, but I'm still gonna go with Hrgovic, and I'm probably gonna start to place my bets. I usually do it the day of the fight, but I might do it on Friday, good Lord willing. So, but we'll see, man. But yeah, I think that Dubois has that. Of course, he has a chance. They're heavyweights. Number 1, everybody has a chance. Number 2, a puncher's chance. Come on, when I say a chance, I'm talking about like I think he seriously could cause an upset, man. I think he could seriously cause an upset, and yeah, I think he could seriously cause an upset and upset Hrgovic, and more than I thought so before. Before I thought it was pretty much a wrap in favor of Phil Hrgovic, but I don't know, man. Now I'm a little more. I give it about a 70, about 65-35 in favor of Hrgovic, but yeah, he has a real chance, man. And of course, the main event, which is what I am upset about. Of course, we should all of our feelings should be hurt, right? All of our feelings should be hurt is the fact that Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev was supposed to be this Saturday as well. Oh my gosh, man, I'm about to cry. Me blood. And of course, that's not gonna happen because Beterbiev sustained an injury, a ruptured meniscus to be specific, and that sucks, man. Because to me, this is the biggest fight in boxing that can be made right now today, followed by Canelo versus Benavidez, and after that, probably like Tank and Shakur or something like that. But I was really looking forward to this, but it's been postponed, and rightfully so. You don't want to see Beterbiev or either one of them in there and not at 100%. So you could have a definitive winner, and we know who's the best fighter. So I'm okay with it, of course, with him with him trying to recover. I hope he has 100% recovery, and I hope that he actually fights, because a lot of people are skeptical, saying that Beterbiev may not ever bounce back. Cause, he's older, and he doesn't have that many fights, so still, but he has a lot in his physical age. He doesn't really have too many professional fights. He doesn't have too much mileage on him in the ring, but as a professional, but he is getting up there, and he does seem to be getting injured quite a bit, and this time it's his meniscus. And when I first heard it was a meniscus, I always think about when somebody has knee problems in boxing, in the boxing realm, I always think about, man, I always think about Sergio Martinez versus Miguel Cotto. That was supposed to be such a good fight, but then Sergio Martinez, he literally went into the fight with a knee issue, and so that fight was not even close to what it could have been. I always think about that, and we don't want that to happen again. So hopefully he recovers well, and he takes the time to recover fully. Have to have a full recovery, because I think that'd be great for the sport of boxing, man. Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. But I will say this though, Bivol, he has a replacement, being Malik Zinad, a relatively unknown fighter. I think he's 22-0 with 9 knockouts, so he's not a heavy hitter like that, but he is undefeated, relatively unknown, and this guy has nothing to lose, man. That's why this is dangerous, because not only does Zinad have nothing to lose, Bivol has nothing to gain. He has nothing to win. One fighter has nothing to win in Bivol. The other fighter has nothing to lose in Zinad. That makes it very dangerous, because if Zinad, Zinad's taking this fight as seriously as he should, take it as seriously as possible. Yes, it was short notice, but still he's undefeated, and this is his time to come out, and he'll go from relatively unknown to a superstar overnight. And that's why it makes it so dangerous. And Dmitry Bivol is like, he can lose everything. Even if he wins, people will be like, okay, he should have won. It's nothing. Like, he should have won. It's not like his stock rises anymore. But if he loses, not only will he lose his undefeated streak, not only will he lose his belts, he'll derail the opportunity for us in boxing to get the Beterbiev and Bivol showdown, man. So that's why I'm real nervous about this, man. I'm really nervous about this fight. I don't think that when I first heard about it, I was like, man, why are they doing this? Let this man either not fight anybody, or make him fight, or let him fight somebody that's, no disrespect, but like a shoe-in, somebody just like not too good, and but I respect it, and I like it still, because it gives boxing some intrigue. It gives boxing some intrigue, and that's what we want to see as well. And and you can lose to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get an upset. But it's just less likely when it's certain people than others. But Bivol, yeah, I'm really nervous about this. I do think Bivol is gonna win. But Malik Zinad might have upset on his mind. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about this one. I feel like this. I just hope the worst doesn't come to fruition. And but with Bivol, I do think if Zinad wins, then of course he gets to fight. If Beterbiev gets healthy, he gets to fight Beterbiev. You know what I'm saying? It seems like almost. Or if Beterbiev is still hurt, then he could fight the winner between Vosdick and Benavidez. So the sky's the limit for Zinad if he wins. But if Bivol wins, I think he just goes on his business as usual. I don't think he's going to fight anybody. Like, I would say that he can fight Benavidez, but I don't think so, because I think, we're going to wait for that showdown with Beterbiev, unless Beterbiev is for certain that Beterbiev is not going to fight anymore. He's going to be on for an extended period of time. He's going to be out for an extended period of time due to his injury and recovering then. But, so let's say worst case scenario, Bivol wins and Beterbiev doesn't come back for the foreseeable future, then of course he could fight the winner of Benavidez and Vosdick. But I think that should be an afterthought. You know what I'm saying? Until we ensure that Beterbiev is not fighting again, because even without Benavidez or Vosdick winner, you can still fight. Joshua Buatsi's out there, who I just brought up earlier, light heavyweight. And I heard that speaking of light heavyweights, I heard that Anthony Yard and Joshua Buatsi are trying to fight. And that'd be a good fight, but Anthony Yard's going through some turmoil and contractual disagreements and legal disagreements with his promotional company, which is headed by Frank Warren in Queensberry. So I'm not sure how that fight's going to go and how those talks and negotiations are going to go anyway. And according to Michael Benson, they don't know either. So yeah, man. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And moving right along, though, I do think Bivol wins, and yeah, I think I'm pretty confident with all of my picks in the 5v5, but like I said, I'm still a little shaky. You know, I'm a little less confident going as we get closer and closer to fight date. But let's move on, man. We all want to move on to Mike Tyson. As you can see right here, we just covered Bivol. You see Ryan Garcia's ugly mug right there. Or should I say pretty mug? People love Ryan Garcia, and I like Ryan Garcia too. But you know, it's just with these steroid allegations, I don't like this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he tarnished the sport even more and his reputation and kind of betrayed us. You know, but it's yet to be seen if it was intentional or not. So let's see. Ryan Garcia is in the news again, you know, not just from the steroids, but also because Mike Tyson has had a little medical emergency. You know, he had an ulcer flare up. It could have been caused that could have been caused by anything, you know, from an empty stomach to other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So so he was just real nauseous and dizzy according to reports, but he's okay now, and the fight will still commence. But it is concerning. Because, you know, he's already 30 years a senior of Jake Paul, and you know, he already had that. Last time we seen him, he was gassed, and that was 20 years ago in his last professional fight. So, you know, there's no reason to believe that he'll be in any better shape 2 decades later. So if you're already worried about the fight and the well-being of the senior citizen, damn near geriatric Mike Tyson, you know, you have more reason to concern now. Now, that doesn't mean that Mike Tyson can't knock him out if he can get to him, you know, but that's a big if. And if anybody could beat somebody 30 years their junior, it's Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, with that being said, Ryan Garcia has inserted himself into the conversation by saying that, hey, man, Mike Tyson has to pull out. I'll replace him. And while I thought this was funny, I initially thought this was funny. I was like, man, I'm tired of hearing Ryan Garcia. But I actually thought about it. I was like, man, I think it's a win-win. I think it's a win-win for boxing. Because if Ryan Garcia goes in there and let's say he gets whooped, you know, because Jake Paul is the bigger guy. I think Ryan Garcia is a better boxer. And, you know, Jake Paul hasn't fought anybody that's a real formidable boxer anyway. So I don't give him any credit. But, you know, I do give him credit for for his entrepreneurial spirit and being a content creator and making that money, man. I can't get mad at that. But as far as like being a serious competitive boxer, it's just the truth. He hasn't fought any active, legitimate boxers. Everybody he's been fighting was like retired basketball players, football players, retired MMA fighters, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. With the exception of Tyson Fury's brother, who's like a semi-pro boxer, and he lost to him, right? He lost to what's his name? Tommy Fury. But yeah, so if Ryan Garcia fights Jake Paul, he's a better boxer skill-wise, you know. That's crazy to say, right, Ryan Garcia. But Jake Paul is the bigger man, and I do think if Jake Paul wins, then it's like we all get recompense for all this cheating crap that's been going on, you know, the betrayal, you know, with the cheating against Devin Haney. Because I was so happy for that win, but I can't be happy if somebody cheated. So if he wins, you see Ryan Garcia get beat on. But if it'll be by somewhat of a fraud to Jake Paul. But if Ryan Garcia wins, we can see somebody finally put Jake Paul in his place. So it's a win-win. You know, at first I was like, man, I don't want to see that jump, but I thought about it, I was like, man, that's a good fight. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Both the screw-ups right now, you know, in terms of boxing fight each other. So I don't have an issue with it, you know, me personally. That's just me, though, you know. That's just me on that point. Bro, I don't see any chats right now. I don't know if it's no one's talking or if it's just my thing messing up. So I'm going to just keep going like it's straight. Also, speaking of Ryan Garcia, you know, that leads me into the thing with the steroids allegations. First of all, let me finish that. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to replace Mike Tyson. That's number one. Number two, I don't even think Mike Tyson is going to need to be replaced. I think Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is going to happen. You know, but if it wasn't going to happen, I would be okay with that too, because, you know, you don't want to have any health complications going into a fight, and that could be very dangerous. What if you have an ulcer flare up again? You know what I'm saying? In the ring, you know, there's no telling what could happen, you know. I don't think it will happen, but you just never know what could transpire, man. And like I said, Mike Tyson's an icon. He's a legend. You'll go get your money, but at the same time, I think he deserves to have people look out for his well-being as well, you know. And that's what the section of bodies are supposed to be doing, you know. Supposed to be. Bentley in the building, my guy. Bentley in the building. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see the chats on my streaming application, so I have to have my phone up. So if you see me look down a lot, it's because I'm trying to look at the chats, because my thing's been acting up all day. So I'll fix it by next one. I apologize. My boy Bentley in the building. But yeah, so and speaking of I think Mike Tyson and Jake Paul will commence. I don't think Ryan Garcia will have to step in for anybody. You know, hopefully he expends all his energy between trolling and proving his innocence. And speaking of that, man, you know, Ryan Garcia, man, you know, I told people that when he first came out, I was like, man, I'm not here to jump jump to conclusions or even really be skeptical or even speculate about if he was cheating or not, because time reveals everything. I always said, I said, you don't have to worry about jumping to conclusions. Just let due process play out, and it did. And all the tests happened, including the B sample, and they said he had Austrian in his system. Now the only question now is, how did it get there, you know? But once again, time, just let time play out. There's no need to speculate. But of course we're here, so we're gonna talk about it. That's the biggest thing boxing news. And speaking of that, time and everything, you know, I was looking around, you know, and I saw somebody, I think it was on Twitter, somebody was talking about the same thing about Mayweather and Pacquiao. Why didn't that happen sooner? And they'll say, oh, what fight do you wish happened? So I think it was somebody asked a question like, what big fights do you wish that happened that never took place? And of course these dodos are gonna say Mayweather and Pacquiao, but they say, oh, I wish it would have happened sooner, 5 years sooner. Not that it didn't happen, but it's just that it happened too late, which I understand that sentiment a little bit. But then, you know, I want to know, why do people think it didn't happen sooner? You know, a lot of people, like, I feel like the consensus is that it's Floyd stalled him out, right? That's what everybody loves to say, that, you know. But I wonder if people would still want to see that fight if Pacquiao would have beat Floyd. Would they still say the same thing, that it happened too late? Of course, with styles make fights, and some styles age better. It's like Floyd Mayweather has a style that's based on counter punching and is based on elusiveness, and he's more defensive. So his style will naturally age more gracefully than somebody whose style depends on their agility, explosiveness, and athleticism, like Pacquiao. However, Floyd is still older. It doesn't change that fact. Floyd is still older than Pacquiao, so it's not like time only moves for one person and doesn't move for the next. But I will say that if we put them in basketball players, Floyd Mayweather style will be more like Steph Curry's. You know, jump shot's going to last longer, you know, and you're going to be effective longer. And then Pacquiao will be more like a Russell Westbrook. His style is predicated off of explosiveness, athleticism. So it's going to naturally deteriorate a little faster. Or you know, but at the same time, too, a thing that Floyd doesn't get credit for is his mind, his intelligence. Floyd is arguably the most intelligent, if not the most, one of the most, if not the most intelligent, more cerebral fighters to ever step in the ring. Now, I was conflicted when Floyd and Pacquiao fought because I really like them both. But then that night when they stepped in the ring, I figured out who I was going for. Once the bell rung, you know, it was that close. I like them both. I'm fond of both of them, but I was leaning towards Floyd. With that being said, let me see what my boy Bentley said. Negotiations failed numerous amount of times. Exactly. So that's what I want to get to right now. So my boy Bentley said he thinks the fight didn't happen because it didn't happen sooner because negotiation failed. Yes, and he is right. But what part of the negotiation specifically? I could even add further specificity to that, and I'm going to right now. One of the major holdups for the fights, one of the major hindrances for the fight to happen, was the fact that Pacquiao did not want to subscribe to the Olympic style testing, right? Olympic style testing, they do anything from urine to blood work, to blood testing, urine analysis to blood work, right? To blood testing. And Pacquiao said that he didn't want to take blood because he doesn't extract blood from himself according to his religion, right? That's what he said, right? Do y'all remember this? Okay, so I want to be very clear when I say this. I'm not making any allegations because I don't think that Pacquiao was cheating. I'll repeat. I don't think that Pacquiao was cheating. I don't think so at all. However, I understand the concern. Let me say Floyd Mayweather, right? So I want to say this right now. Let me tell you something. If you suspect that somebody might be cheating, they may be cheating, and they say they don't want to take the test, I don't care if it's for religious purposes. I don't care if it's for financial purposes. I'm just making up stuff. I don't care if it's for physical purposes. I don't care if it's because location, geographically. I don't care what the excuse is. It won't mean it's true, but it's gonna put you on alert, and you're gonna feel like it's true. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say the splits and the testing. Yes, splits and the testing. But more so the testing. They would have got over the money. More so the testing. So I want to say this. Y'all remember that, right? And Pacquiao said specifically and definitively that he didn't want to take it because of his religion, right? I want to point to y'all something, man. And if y'all don't believe me, I will show you the proof. Manny Pacquiao, I've dropped a video on this. A few months ago, Manny Pacquiao tried to do what? He tried to join the Olympics to represent his country. What do you think Olympics do when they test? They do Olympic-style testing. And part of that Olympic-style testing is urine analysis and blood work. So my point is this. So if he didn't want to take blood work to prove himself, if he didn't want to subscribe to the blood work to prove for, to make sure that he's clean so the Floyd fight could commence, why all of a sudden he was willing to do it to do the Olympics now? Did he change religions? I mean, so I know people get mad at me and think that I'm not biased, but I like Pacquiao. I have a Pacquiao emote. I met Pacquiao. I'm just bringing you the facts. I'm thought provoking. I want y'all to think about this stuff. If you don't believe me, let me show you right here. If you didn't see my video that I made months ago, and if you don't believe me, I want to show you right here. Give me a second. Let me show you. Let me show you right here, man. Let me show you right here, man. What's it say? Manny Pacquiao denied exemption to compete at 2024 Olympics at 45 years old by the International Olympic Committee. That's what IOC is, right? So look, let me tell you this, right? So Pacquiao, he was 45. They denied him because they said that they capped the age for participants at 40. So he's 5 years from the limit, right? So I want to say this. I want to ask you this. Now, there's plenty of things. This doesn't mean in itself that Pacquiao was cheating, because I'm not accusing him of cheating, because he could have had a change of heart. Maybe he's like, hey, man, you know, I did the Olympic blood testing once. I'll do it again now. You know what I'm saying? He could say that. Or you could say that maybe he did change religions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe he's going to try to get an exemption from the blood testing portion of it. Or maybe he was on some shit and he doesn't feel like anybody in the Olympics can challenge him to where he would need to be on the shit again. All this stuff is just speculation, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to be very clear. So I want to, if you don't believe that, he said, if you don't believe that, I want to tell you this, man. This is just for the people who are saying that, oh, Floyd Mayweather is the problem for why it did happen. No, they're both the problem. You know, that's the thing. If, you know, I don't mind people saying that the fight happened too late. But don't just blame one party. It was two parties that have to make a negotiations, that have to come to an agreement during negotiations. Both of them didn't. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to blame somebody, I want you to question, why was Pacquiao not okay with the blood testing? So he was so adamant about not doing blood testing. But now he wanted to do the Olympics, which does the same Olympic style blood testing. Hell, that's where they get it from. So I want to tell you that I want you to think about this. Let's say I'm going to the club, right? I'm trying to think of a scenario. Let's say I'm going to the club, right? And then the club is patting people down, right? I'm like, man, I don't care. I'm going to the club, trying to look fresh, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get the late, you know, my thing. So I get patted down, and I get in the club. But then I see people, hold on, man. I heard some people talk about, oh, nah, man, they patting down. After they see me get patted down, they be like, nah, man, I don't want to get patted down, man. So now my spider sense is tingling. I'm like, hold on, why this person don't want to get patted down? And then they don't want to get patted down. They don't want to get patted down. They're adding about, so they go to the VIP line because they know the VIP line, if you pay a little more money, they might not pat you down. But then you hear the bouncer say, oh no, we still got to pat you down, player. And then you say, hold on. The club owner comes out and says, hold on, man, why not? You know, I mean, what's the problem? And the dude's like, hey man, I break you off a couple thousand. I break you off a couple hundred. Let me in, and I get to bypass the pat down. Now the club owner says, I bet, you know, I'm getting extra money. You know, the club owner might take the money and leave. He might not even be there for that night. So he don't care what goes on. Of course, literally he cares because he might be liable. But I'm just building a scenario here. So the club owner might not be there. But guess who's in the club with? The person who just got in. I'm in the club, so I care. So now, not to make the analogy that I'm trying to make is that, let's say I'm Floyd Mayweather. I'm in the ring. The committees and the sanctioned bodies, they don't care if the person got in with a gun, because the sanctioned bodies would be like the club owner, right? They'll be like the club owner, like, as long as I get my money that we go make in the club, I'm good. Because I ain't going to get shot. He ain't going to be cheating and punching me. You see what I'm saying? So, but Pacquiao in the club, who he's a club strap. He might up it on you. You know what I'm saying? He might have a bad night. Just pull that pistol out. So that's like the steroids. I'm not saying that he was on it, but you got to understand the reason for concern. And it's going to make me want to have, the person that got in the club didn't want to get pat down. Maybe he's allergic to hands. I don't know. Maybe he don't want somebody to touch him. But maybe he's afraid of germs. But I don't care. But he might not have nothing on him. Just like Pacquiao, he may not be doing nothing. But if you don't want to get pat down, then naturally I'm gonna think you got something on you. So go back to Floyd now. If Pacquiao may not have been on anything, he might have been clean as a referee with a whistle. You know what I'm saying? But if the fact that he didn't want to take it, now I'm like, hold on now. You see what I'm saying? I mean, he might be on something. You know, he might be hot or something. So my point is that, man, you got to be careful who you're blaming, because as you see Ryan Garcia, whether it's intentional or not, that's up for debate. But it's not up for debate whether he was on something. He was on something. So you want to be careful. And I also saw some people, the same people that said that stuff about blaming Floyd, they also said they wish Floyd would have fought Margarito. You want Floyd to fight a cheater? Margarito is known cheater. He can't even fight on earth. There's few places on earth he could fight, and people still say they wanted Floyd to fight Margarito. You see, people are delusional, man. Like, you know, you just gotta. So my bigger point is that I don't know why. You know, I don't think Pacquiao was on anything, But I could understand why someone would be concerned if you do not want to subscribe to the blood work, especially now that Pacquiao was willing to do the blood work now. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this, you don't have to be worried about stuff. Time reveals everything. This is way later. This is decades later since the fight. This is over a decade later since the fight, since they actually did fight. However, this just shows you that, man, if you just chill and let the process play out, time is going to show you everything, man. So it does seem very hypocritical that he didn't want to do the Olympic style blood work back then, but now he wants to join the Olympics. The same, and it's the same institution that has Olympic style blood testing. So it just makes you wonder. He said, well, regardless, it will always be mentioned that that fight shouldn't have happened earlier because that was not prime Pacquiao. I don't care about that. He said Floyd was able to use IV for that fight, but man, he couldn't fit his shoulder. Well, I mean, somebody getting hurt, you got to cancel the fight. You can't. It's just like Garcia. You know what I'm saying? But I know you be blaming Haney for Ryan Garcia getting positive, but you can't blame Floyd for Pacquiao hurting his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can't blame Cotto for Sergio Martinez hurting his knee. They still had the fight. Well, how can you blame the other party? That has nothing to do with Floyd. If it was that bad of an issue, Pacquiao should have pulled out. And then what, like you said, also you said, which I think is good. You said that Floyd was able to use the IV. He was able to use the IV, right? He was able. That's a key word. So if it was a problem, then maybe he wouldn't have used it. So you can't say what could have happened, what should have happened. We just go off of what did happen. And what happened was they fought. And you also said that Pacquiao was out of his prime. Floyd's older than Pacquiao. So it's not like time only moves for one party. The older man gets older too, just like the younger man gets older. So, you know, stylistically, you got to adapt, baby. Like Ray Allen, you know, Ray Allen was in the NBA, right? Ray Allen was a slasher in Milwaukee, you know, but to increase the longevity of his game and the duration of his career, right? What did he do? He depended more on his jump shot. So you got to adapt as well. So you can always say if for this and make excuses for Pacquiao or make excuses for Floyd. The fact is they fought when they fought. No matter what the circumstances were, they fought legally, and Floyd came out on top. People are mad because a lot of people obviously don't like Floyd. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth. If Pacquiao would have won, nobody would have said, oh, Pacquiao was past his prime. No one would have said, oh, Floyd used the IV. No one would have said, oh, Floyd was past his prime. No, they would have just said Pacquiao won. That's the problem. So people be coping too much. People be coping too much because guess what? That fight still sold a lot of money. So 1-2-0 for some people. I wish it would have happened earlier too, but that's also not Floyd's fault either. It's both of their faults. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't understand how we could blame one party for something not happening. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Floyd was in there fighting himself. So, yeah, I never understood that. You know, people don't blame Cotto for Sergio Martinez hurting his knee. So, I mean, that's just something that Sergio Martinez did, and it is what it is. And Pacquiao went through with the fight. Despite his shoulder, it is what it is, man. So, yeah, I do think that I wish it would have happened earlier, too. I think the result stays the same. But you know, it didn't, and both parties are responsible for that. You know, people aren't going to hear that. People who watch this video, they're just going to hear me say that Floyd is not the only person to blame. They're going to say, oh, so you blaming Pacquiao. They're not going to hear I just literally said both parties are to blame, but you shouldn't blame one more than the other. But you can hear whatever you want, you know. So I could bring a donkey to water. I can't force him to drink. Well, a story about the two greats in their prime on the run to fight each other in 2010. Well, the story was about two greats in their prime on a run to fight each other in 2010. Yeah, but the story was also that Kobe Bryant and LeBron James were supposed to play against each other in the championship. That never happened. Circumstances happened. LeBron got beat by Dwight Howard in the Magic, right, in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we never saw Kobe and LeBron. There was a long story. So sports are sports. Storylines are storylines. They don't always line up. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we could make excuses all day. It don't matter about the storylines. Sometimes things don't happen. It is what it is. That don't mean that you blame one party more than the other. There's a lot of storylines that the media builds up, and that we build up, and that we want, but it doesn't happen. And that might have been one of them. So it doesn't matter what the storyline is. It's like, you know, the storyline's also that Floyd retired, and then he came back and fought Marquez before him and Pacquiao fought, right? So, you know, there are circumstances that happen when that will derail the quote-unquote storyline. That happens sometimes. I mean, Beterbiev and Bivol aren't fighting right now. Is anybody going to blame Beterbiev because he got injured? So I'm really curious. I'm really asking this question. Like, storylines happen, you know, but and storylines get derailed. So why are we blaming so much on Floyd? Now you got to ask yourself that. And would he be? Do you honestly think he would be blamed so much if he would have lost? You got to ask yourself that. I mean, I can't answer that for you. I can answer for myself. I don't think he would have been blamed. I don't think people would even care as much if Floyd would have lost. It's just because people don't like Floyd. He's a villain, you know. Sometimes he manifested that, you know. That's what it is. Illuminati in the building. My guy, what's popping? I gotta look at my phone. I gotta look at my phone to keep the to get the chat, because my chat's not working on my computer right now. It's tripping. But yeah, so I just want to say that when time reveals everything, man. And if you don't think that's kind of suspicious, then I don't know what to say. Like I said, I don't think he was cheating because he was never caught. So you're innocent until proven guilty. That's the mantra I go by. You know what I'm saying? I live by that. Not just when it's in my favor or out of my favor. You know, or in the favor of somebody I like or dislike, or not in the favor of somebody I like or dislike, whatever. I just think that, you know, I think Pacquiao's clean until proven otherwise. However, I can understand why it would be of concern. Because, like I said, unless he changed religions, then he obviously didn't have a problem with subscribing to the Olympic style testing now up until this year. So it is what it is. You know, if you could feel like, dang, maybe he just was gonna be on something, or maybe he was on something. I don't know. A lot of people have the allegations, man. I don't think he was, but I don't think that Floyd or anybody else is wrong for concern, especially when they're getting in the ring. Because guess what? Devin Haney got beat up, and you said it yourself, Bentley, that you don't care. You said it yourself, Bentley. Am I lying? You just said it yesterday. You said whether Ryan Garcia was on steroids or not, you don't care because Devin Haney got whooped. So what do you think people would have said about Pacquiao? If Pacquiao would have whooped him and they found out he was on steroids, y'all would have said, I don't care. I saw what happened. So come on, bro. You can't have it both ways. You literally just said that yesterday. Supporter in the building was good. Yes, sir. Oh, I was just talking about how Bivol has nothing to gain, man. Everything to lose. And Zinad has nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I said it's a dangerous fight, man. You know what I'm saying? He has 22 fights, relatively unknown, 9 knockouts. But this could catapult his career, man, from an area of unknown to a lifestyle of at the pinnacle of being celebrated and popular and have renown, you know what I'm saying, all from one fight. So I think Zinad is a very dangerous fighter just from that standpoint alone, man, you know what I'm saying. But I think Bivol is going to win. So yeah, so that's all I want to talk about that right there, man. And Canelo has seemingly confirmed that he's going to vacate instead of fighting William Skull, his IBF mandatory. But yeah, so I just want to say that, you know, time reveals everything, and people can't deny facts, man. I would like to see what Illuminati thinks about that. I wish he was in here a little earlier and support. I want to see what y'all think about what I was saying. So I'll just give y'all a brief synopsis of what I was talking about. I was talking about Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. Well, the main thing was Bivol and Ryan Garcia wanting to replace Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, and I was saying that Ryan Garcia versus Jake Paul, I didn't like it at first, but then I thought about it. It might be a win-win, because if Ryan Garcia beats Jake Paul, being his first real fighter that he fought, then we could see somebody beat down Jake Paul, you know, the fraud. But Jake Paul is bigger, and if Jake Paul beats Ryan Garcia, we can get some recompense for Jake Paul beating down the cheater. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's funny, man. So it'll be a win-win for boxing. If Ryan Garcia and Jake Paul fought, if Mike in the scenario that Mike Tyson had to pull out, but I don't think Mike Tyson's gonna have to pull out. I think he's gonna be fine, and I just hope that, you know, it is concerning though. I hope he's good, and I hope he doesn't have any complications or put aside his health for this fight. You know, yeah, Jake Paul is big. It's big, but I'm not convinced that he could run through Ryan like that. But Jake Paul's huge. You know, he's a cruiserweight, light heavyweight, sometimes heavyweight, so he's way bigger. But I think that Ryan Garcia is definitely the better fighter, more experienced fighter, and I do think it means something when Jake Paul is seemingly avoiding fighting legitimate fighters. And the one time he fought somebody that was like a semi-pro boxer, he lost. And Tyson Fury's brother, Tommy Fury, I believe his name. Ryan going to KO Jake Paul. Yeah, see, Bentley said that too. I don't know, you know, I don't know, but I might lean towards Bentley on that one. Bro, what I was saying is also, I just saw some people today talk about Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao happening a little too late. And I was like, you know, I don't mind. I agree with that. It happened a little bit too late, but I just don't like how they put all the onus and all the blame and all the responsibility to make the fight happen sooner on Floyd Mayweather. Like I said, it's two parties negotiating. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you want to win or who you want to lose or whose side you on, you got to understand that negotiations are between two people, two entities. So if they don't come to an agreement, then it's both their fault. You know what I'm saying? We can speculate on whose fault it is more, but Pacquiao famously did not want to subscribe to the Olympic style testing, and that's what held it up. But it's funny that up to this year, Pacquiao wanted to join the Olympics, right? And who does the Olympic style testing? the institution called the freaking Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, like I said, unless he claimed it was for religious purposes, so unless he changed religions, they do the same urine analysis and blood work for their testing, and it's random. So why would he want to? Why is he okay with doing it now? You got to ask yourself these things. I'm not like I said, I personally don't believe Pacquiao was cheating, but I could understand if you are suspicious of him cheating, and then he says he don't want to take the test to prove that he's not, then of course it's going to make you more. That's going to make you question it more, whether or not he's actually cheating or not. But it's going to be like, hold on now, I'm taking the test while you don't want to take the test. Everybody else taking the test while you don't want to take the test. So it might put your spider sense, make your spider sense tingle a little bit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he was or he wasn't. I'm just saying that I can understand why, if I think somebody is strapped up in the club and they don't want to get pat down, or if I think somebody's strapped up walking from their car to the club, and then they also don't want to get pat down, then I'm going to make sure that I don't go in that club no more, because I'm thinking whether or not he got a gun, it doesn't matter. I think he does. He or she does. So I'm not going. I'm going to go to another club or I'm taking my butt home. You see what I'm saying? Coming from where I'm from, I'd rather be safe than sorry. You feel me? Because I know me, I encourage the bouncer to pat me down, because I know that means you're going to pat down everybody else, and I think, okay, bet. If I do have to squabble, at least I know I ain't going to get shot or stabbed. Or it severely decreases my chances of that happening. So my point is that to make the same scenario, if Manny Pacquiao wasn't cheating, and I think that he might be cheating, and if I think he might be cheating, and then he doesn't want to take the test to prove he's not cheating, just like somebody doesn't want to get if I think somebody got a gun, they don't want to take the test or the pat down to prove they don't have a gun, then I'm gonna think even more so that they got a gun, and so if Floyd probably thought even more so that he might be cheating. So that's all I want to say about that. Like I said, I don't think Pacquiao was cheating. I'm just saying that I'm just give you a. I just want you to also think about, remove yourself and be empathetic for other people and think like, dang, okay, I can see why if I already think that he's cheated and he don't want to take the test, then maybe I could see why he would believe that he would, because he don't want to take the test to prove he wasn't. Like I said, I don't think Pacquiao was cheating, but I can understand the concern. Yo, Cindy Gang, what's your thought on Punch and Showbiz being biased, supporting Ryan Garcia popping for PEDs and blaming Haney for rehydrating over 15%? I'll be honest with you, man. I don't watch either one of them. I don't watch either one of their platforms, so I have to look at my phone right now because my chat's not working. I'm familiar with both of them. I said Punish at first, but yeah, I never watched this channel. I have watched Showbiz before, and what do I think about? I think the same thing. Nothing on them. I'll never hate on nobody, but I do think that there's a lot of lies being told. And I think there's a lot of people that don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're talking like they're experts, and they're not even doing their due diligence or putting in the effort to become knowledgeable before they speak. And I think that's wrong. Now, I'm not talking about those two in particular, because I didn't know what side they're on until you just said it. But I'm talking about people in general. Anybody who puts out misinformation and speaks with conviction and passion and loudly about something that they have no clue about, and the reason why they don't know is because they're not putting forth the effort, yet they're talking like they do, I think that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what they're doing, I think that's wrong. If they're doing what you say they're doing, I think that's wrong. How can you blame Haney for Ryan Garcia testing positive? Devin Haney's not part of the test. And if you think that Devin Haney has any control of the test, then you got to show me the proof. Because I could show you the proof of where it says that he failed his test and he tested positive for the urine analysis. And I could show you the proof where according to the same Dr. Pascal Kentz, who's the expert who he sent the hair testing to, Ryan Garcia sent his hair sample to, Dr. Pascal Kentz, I could pull up his scholarly published journalistic paper where he himself, that he authored, he said that the hair analysis does not supersede or replace urine analysis, because hair analysis could overlook some of the things that the urine analysis could catch. And urine analysis is more effective. That's the most effective way, specifically liquid chromatography. That's a more effective way, which happens in urine analysis. That's a more effective way of detecting SARMs. And guess what a SARM is? It's a PED that Austrian is part of that PED family of SARMs. And the best way of detecting it is through liquid chromatography, coupled with mass spectrometry, and that happens during urine analysis. It doesn't happen during hair follicle testing. So if you want to put out information because you like a fighter, you have a personal relationship, I mean, that's your business, that's your platform. I can't tell people what to do. So to answer your question, I don't really care. My thoughts on them saying that, you can say whatever you want. My thoughts on the people that believe it is something else, because, well, I do think that it's shameful that people would do stuff without integrity, because I think that you should have integrity in everything you do. But if they truly believe that, then that's what that is what it is. So I just question the people. You know, like I say, you got to not only in this day and age, anybody could say whatever they want, as long as they have a big enough platform. But I think that people need to, not only in this day, it's sad, but you not only need to question the information being presented to you, you got to also question the presenter of the information, because people have narratives that they want. And me, I just tell the facts, and I appreciate that. I appreciate how I'm appreciated because people trust me, and I give the facts and I show you evidence and proof of what I say. And if I don't know, I have no problem saying I don't know. And maybe because I am smart, because I know that me not knowing something doesn't mean that I'm any less smart, and I don't need to fake that I'm smart for anybody. I had 3 degrees to prove it. I have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. I have a master's degree in mechanical engineering with a focus on sustainable energy. And then I have a PhD in sustainable energy engineering / mechanical engineering with a focus and expertise in heat transfer thermodynamics. And I've written, and the reason why I trust that scholarly paper that I read from, and I showed you with Dr. Pascal Kent saying that information, because I also have published papers in that same journal. I have journal publications for NASA. I have journal publications for the AFRL, which is the Air Force Research Laboratory. I have journal publications for a consortium with Florida A&M, FSU, Purdue University, and others. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to name everything I have, but this is stuff that I've done. I do my due diligence. I'm meticulous. I'm very thorough in my work. So if I'm going to present something to you, I'm not saying that I'm always going to be right, because mistakes happen. But trust that I'm going to do everything I can in my ability to be correct. Some people prioritize being first. And that's good. You know, you're in news, you want to break the story. But you should prioritize being correct more than you prioritize being first. And if you are wrong, you should also have some accountability and be like, oh man, I made a mistake. But people don't. People, everybody on the internet's a genius. Everybody on the internet's a gangster. Everybody on the internet's a playboy. Some of these people, they ain't got no degree. They broke and they ain't never had a girlfriend. So how the hell you a genius, playboy, rich philanthropist? They ain't never get back to nothing, man. Stop it, man. Ain't one bust a grape in the food fight. So how you gangster? LAV in the building. Actually, smart people know what they are lacking knowledge of. Exactly, T-Streets. That's a fact. What they say, wisdom, a wise man knows that they don't know everything, but fools pretend that they do. That's the difference. So I have no problem. I know I don't know everything. Hell, Streets, I don't even want to know everything. That's a burden. You know, because when I know something, look, y'all been in the chat. When somebody asks me, hey, even if it's something as small as what time the fight starts, I'll say, man, like even yesterday, somebody asked me what time does the fight start for the 5v5. I said 2 p.m. Eastern time. But I said, you know what? Let me go double check. I always double check. And partly because I'm an overthinker, but because I also don't like being wrong, and more than I don't like being wrong, I don't like giving out wrong information. Because I feel like that's my responsibility. If somebody asks me a question, if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. Or if I do know, then I have a responsibility to at least be accurate to the best of my ability. And if I do make a mistake, I'll be like, my bad, I was wrong about that. Such. But some people, you know, everybody is whatever, man. But yeah, so to be very clear, City Gang, I have no opinion on those two people particularly, because I don't care what people say, but I do have an opinion, and a very strong and passionate opinion, about people that put out misleading information. You know what I'm saying? Don't have aren't adult enough to correct themselves and say when they're wrong, and you know, like I said, bro, like it's like when people come out with the nanogram saying that Ryan Garcia, it was a billionth of a gram. Bitch, a billionth of a gram is a nanogram. Most things, when it comes to substances, are measured in nanograms per milliliter. That doesn't mean that it's ineffective. It just means that you don't know the metrics and the units in which these things are measured. So when you say a billionth of a gram to try to make it seem like it's minuscule and inconsequential, you are freaking wrong. That's how these things are measured. And how do I know this? Because I can also bring up the scholarly papers where they detect these things. And I even have one written by Dr. Pascal Kent, where he detected a SARM, particularly ostarine. This is all in the journal article I showed in the video. And he measured it, and it was detected at 0.25. Ryan Garcia was measured at 0.6. So they measured 0.25 as being significant. Ryan Garcia measured at he was 60 times. So he measured at 6. But they said a significant amount was 0.25 nanograms per milliliter. Ryan Garcia measured at 6 nanograms per milliliter. The legal threshold for boxing in the New York Athletic Commission is 0.1. That means he was 60 times the legal limit. Come on, bro. But people don't know this because they just act like they know instead of having a true desire to actually look at this stuff. Of course, a billionth of a gram sounds small because you don't work in shit that is billionth of a gram size. You know what's also small? Let me tell you, a flea is small. You mess around and find one flea in your house if you have dogs. What does that mean? That means that there's a whole bunch of fleas somewhere else. Probably on your dog or in other places. So you find one flea, you're in trouble. A flea is small. Is that inconsequential? It's inconsequential until you scratching your gosh dang skin off trying to, you itching your ankles. That's also small. Things that are small aren't inconsequential. You just don't know the significance of what it means. Watch Punch last 4 videos. You will lose brain cells, bro. Just push it out. False narrative supporting Ryan popping for PEDs is crazy. Yeah, nah, I'd rather not watch it. Ryan is all natural. Robert Estrada in the building. But that's the thing too. You don't have to. That's the thing. Like I said, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying we should all want to be right. It is attack on. I make an attack on purposeful misinformation. I wouldn't watch. Like I said, you have a right to defend or say whatever you want. I don't know. I'm not knocking anybody in particular. I would never do that. You know, it's your platform. That's their platform. Like I said, I don't know if Ryan Garcia did it intentionally. To me, that's the only question. You know, because it has been now, unless you're questioning the whole entire system, then my question for those that think that the system did Ryan Garcia dirty, and let's say hypothetically speaking, that the system, you know, there are real conspiracies out there that become true, and maybe the system is against Ryan Garcia. I don't see why they would be, but my question is, why didn't you question the system when Oscar Valdez was found dirty? Why didn't you question the system when Alicia Bumgarner was found dirty? Why didn't you question the system when Conor Ben was found dirty? Why didn't you question the system when Canelo was found dirty? Oh, because you didn't like them. Oh, but if you like them, you're going to go to bat for them. But if you don't like them, then the system was right. So if the system is wrong now, you should have said the system was wrong before. And if you didn't say that, then I don't respect your opinion. Because I know that it's coming from a place of fandom and you being a fanatic, and that's crazy. So unless it's proven otherwise, I'm going to believe that the tests were positive. I have no reason to believe that they would conjure some shit up. Now, they could have, and then I'll say, dang, I was wrong. VADA, or whoever was responsible for taking the samples, and WADA, whoever tested it, I would say, dang, you know, that is messed up. They did this person wrong. Because the New York State Athletic Commission director did step down. And some people are speculating that it's because of this Ryan Garcia stuff. And maybe it could be, but that's a whole conspiracy. The fact is, I take it for face value. He took the test. He took multiple tests. He took a total of 4 tests, I believe. And it came back positive. That's it. And then he took the hair test, which doesn't accurately measure or detect SARMs or Austrian in particular. And it said that it was negative. So that could lead you to believe that he didn't take anything at all. But no, if you do your research, it just shows that the hair test can potentially clear him. It won't exonerate him from saying that he doesn't have anything in his system because it doesn't supersede or replace the urine analysis, but it could potentially show that he didn't do it intentionally. That should be the only debate right now, is whether or not Ryan Garcia had the Austrian in his system intentionally, or was it unbeknownst to him, meaning that it was he took a contaminated supplement. The argument should not be, and I won't even entertain the argument that he didn't really have it in his system. That means you're speaking from the standpoint of a groupie or a fool, and I don't argue with groupies or fools. This is a boxing channel, not your favorite fighter's fan page. So I deal with facts. Smoochie in the building. Everyone defending Ryan saying fires on a snack, but the country all cheating and taking PDs. This comes from Ryan Garcia. That's a fact. I still believe that everyone at that level is on something, just not everyone gets. And Robert, I'm cool with that. If you think that everybody's on something, that everybody doesn't get caught, more power to you. But when someone gets caught, that means that they should be dealt with. You're right, Robert. I don't know. I disagree with that because maybe I have naivete. You know, maybe my naivete makes me not want to admit or think that people are cheating. I want to think about, you know, boxing at its purest level. and that people are out there still acting with integrity. You know what I'm saying? And so I do think that I disagree with that statement, but that doesn't mean that because everybody's cheating that we should omit the ones that we catch. There's people speeding on the interstate right now. Does that mean that the police shouldn't stop the person that they catch speeding? There's people committing murders and robberies right now. Does that mean that the person, the robber that gets caught, shouldn't be tried for robbery, or sexual assault, or assault, or theft, or arson because other people got off? That's a terrible argument. That's a horrible argument. So everybody may be cheating, but damn it, the ones that we catch, we gotta punish them bitches just like everybody else. Come on, man. That's a terrible argument that we should. I'm not saying that you're making that argument, Robert. I'm just saying in general. I'm not accusing you of making that argument. Why do you say about people saying the amount is not enough to give Ryan an advantage? I feel like they just don't want to admit that PEDs it plays a factor. What do I say about that? I think that they're uneducated. They don't know the amount and they don't know the significance of it. Once again, so let me tell you about this thing. Sydney gang, look, I feel like that's people that are reaching, trying to go to places that we have no business. I'm not a phlebotomist. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with urine. I don't deal with fecal matter testing. I don't do with blood testing. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor. I have my PhD, Doctor of Philosophy, by philosophy of sustainable energy engineering with the expertise and the focus in heat transfer thermodynamics. I'm not a medical doctor, and even if I was, all medical doctors don't deal with that type of testing. So I'm not a drug testing expert or a PED specifically substance expert. You know what I'm saying? Or deal with forensics or nothing like that. You know, so I feel like you're overstepping your boundaries trying to determine how much is effective because you don't know. There's a thing called microdosing, and that could also be a reason why, you know, the hair test wouldn't show that it wouldn't pick it up at a significant amount either until it gets to a certain stage. That's one thing. But most likely the hair test, since it goes back 3 months. How do I know this? Because I did my research. It goes back 90 days, aka 3 months. It should catch those little amounts, but it could slide through there too. Because once again, SARMs is best detected through liquid chromatography and mass spectrometry, two things that hair follicle testing does not do. So but to go to your question, people are saying that's not effective. They don't know what effective it is. So let me ask you something. If someone tells you, if I say, hey man, you know, I hit somebody with a car, I ran somebody over, right? I ran somebody over, and then I don't want to say they died or anything like that. No, freak that. Let's not say something well, I guess I was gonna say drugs. That'd be fatal too. Okay, yeah, let's do this. So let's say that I'm a drug dealer or something like that, right? Since we're talking about PEDs and banned substances, and I get caught, right? With the intent to distribute, right? And and then they say that, oh, does anybody ever say, oh man, I didn't give off enough to kill somebody. I didn't give off enough. I didn't sell enough drugs to make somebody be addicted. You know? Or do they just say, oh, you had drugs and you had the intent to sell? They don't say how much you sold or how effective the drug was that you sold. It's just that you had this substance and you were trying to sell, so you're gonna get punished for it. So the people that are saying how much he had in his system, how effective it will be, that doesn't matter. It's the fact that he had it in him, period. So you trying to determine how effective it was, how much it impacted that night, that's none of your business. That's stuff that I feel like, you know, like I said, people are just reaching, and I don't know how effective it was. I don't know how ineffective it was. All I do know is that Ryan Garcia beat the hell out of Devin Haney, and I was happy, I was ecstatic, I was elated, and I won money. But I know that everything that I watched that night was a result of him having something in his body that was illegal while it happened. So whether or not that caused, I don't think that it did. I'm not gonna say I don't think it did. I don't think that Ryan Garcia needed that to win. But it doesn't matter what I think because I know it was there. So that's inconsequential. So I feel like anybody going over that ledge is because they're desperate, and exactly what they're doing. They're going off a ledge because they're crazy and they're in denial, and they're it's absurd how obsessed they are with another human being that they don't know. It doesn't matter how effective it was. It does. I'm gonna say that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter how effective it was. It's just the fact that it was in the system. It's effective enough. And fuck that. It's the fact that it was in the system shows that it was an intent to cheat. Because once again, it goes back to the drug dealer analogy and your intent. They don't care about what actually happened. They don't care about how much people overdosed on the drug that you were selling. They don't care about how many people were actually bought it or were addicted. They care that you had it on your person. So I care that Ryan Garcia had it in the system and on his person. That's it. I wonder if Devin will ever recover from that mentally, physically, and more. Yeah, physically that does a lot. Mentally it does a lot of damage. I think it does more mental damage than physical damage. So yeah, so like I said, I'm not saying that I don't know how effective it was. That's none of my business. I just know that he had something that shouldn't have been there. And like I said, the only debate is whether he did it intentionally or not. I'm hoping that he didn't do it intentionally because, like I said, I do like Ryan Garcia. But I think everybody should get dealt with. I don't like him that much to where I think he's above the rules or infallible. It was in the system, and then that's what it is, man. I think people should need to stop debating that because, or arguing that because it makes you look weak, especially if you're a man. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like you his boyfriend or something, or his husband or something. And I like Ryan. He only cheated a little bit defense. Yeah, that's so stupid. He only cheated a little bit. It doesn't matter how much he cheated. It's the fact that it's there, period. So when Margarito cheated, right? Did people want to measure how hard the substance was? Did they want to say, oh, well, he had plaster of Paris, but he didn't have sheetrock, or he had sheetrock, but he didn't have cotton balls, or he had cotton balls, but he didn't have diamond. It didn't have a substance as hard as diamond, or he had diamond, but he didn't have a metal plate. It doesn't matter. The fact that he had something illegal, that's what we care about. We don't care about how much harder this was than this substance, or if it was the hardest substance, or if it was just a little hard. Pause. That sounded crazy. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about that. So why do you care now?
What?
I never heard somebody say, oh, let me measure the hardness of Margarito's plaster of Paris. We just know that it was there, and he cheated against Miguel Cotto and whoever else he was cheating against, Sugar Shane Mosley and all them. Rest in peace, Nazir Richardson, a great trainer. How much did Amir Khan have in the system? Exactly. He got 2 years. But, again, conveniently, Amir Khan, he retired after they found it in his system against Kell Brook. So it didn't really matter. That 2 years was kind of inconsequential because he retired. JRN in the building. What it do? So, yeah, man. So, like, I want to emphasize, I'm not here to judge anybody. That's not my role. I'm here to give you boxing news and give it to you from an honest standpoint, because that's all I do, a genuine standpoint, a truthful standpoint, and an unbiased standpoint. And I'm very objective. Some people aren't capable of doing that. They're very emotional. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, like I said, I've always said this from jump. Even when everybody that's in this channel knows, when they ask me about did Ryan Garcia cheat, what did I say? I said, I don't know. We're going to wait until the due process plays out. I said May 22nd is when the B sample gets retested, right? I said that. I had posts where I put it. I have videos where I put it. I said, yo, I'm not going to make any judgment either way. I'm not going to say he's innocent. I'm not going to say he's guilty. But please believe the results of that test. I'm going to believe it, because most likely, I also did my research on this. You would know that it's a very slim chance that the B sample would have been any different from the A sample. But I still gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, hey, a slim chance is still a chance. So, yeah, hardness is crazy. The hardness of his plaster is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm wilding. Smoochie, I'm wilding. But I'm just saying, though, that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing, are they not? If people are saying how effective the amount of Austrian he had in the system, that's the same thing as saying, oh, well, I don't know how hard the plaster of Paris was in Margarito's gloves. Since when are we in the business of determining how effective an illegal substance or an illegal procedure is? When do people care about that? That's how far people are going to try to defend this action of cheating. Is crazy. Like I said, I don't like Devin Haney and the Haneys like that, but I don't think anybody should cheat or be cheated. That has nothing to do, like, that's why I tell people, it has nothing to do with you liking Devin Haney or disliking Devin Haney, or liking Ryan Garcia or disliking Ryan Garcia. No one's above the rules. Just like Tishu said, yes, no one's above the rules, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Why wouldn't you want, like, do you really like So I will say this. I want y'all to question anybody who's defending this and say, do you really like boxing, or do you just like Ryan Garcia? Or do you just hate Devin Haney this much? Do you love Ryan Garcia this much, or do you hate Devin Haney this much? I've never seen people get mad at a person who was literally the victim. Now, do I think that Devin Haney should want the win? No, I think that's some sucker shit. If I'm being honest, I think that's, but just because I disagree with it, I also don't think it's wrong. I also don't think it's wrong, because if you look at it, it's like if me and STREETZ, or me and Smoochie, let's say me and Smoochie are racing, right? And I come in first place, and I get caught with a banned substance in my system and I was cheating. guess who gets bumped up to first place? You think they say, oh, that race was a no contest? You think they say, oh, Smoochie still came in second? No, they say Smoochie came in first and I got disqualified. So if you're coming from that state of mind, just because boxing only has 2 people participating, then it doesn't matter. So if Ryan Garcia came in first place when he won, then you could also say that, okay, no, he lost, he disqualified, and Ryan Garcia won. I don't subscribe to that. I think that just because he didn't win, I mean, just because Devin Haney didn't lose, I don't think it necessarily won. I think it most appropriately should be a no contest. That's what be me. And I think I shouldn't say some sucker shit, because you see what I'm saying? See, that's me. Once again, I'm penalizing Devin Haney for what he's going to do after he's getting cheated. So I take that back. Please forgive me. I was wrong. I shouldn't have to call this some sucker shit. I just disagree with it. But I think that he should want to get a rematch, just like Miguel Cotto did. However, I can't call him a sucker, even though I did. I shouldn't call him a sucker, or I shouldn't say that's trash, because he's the one that got cheated. What if he just doesn't even want to give a cheater the time of day again? He's like, man, he might cheat again. What if he tries to beat the system again? So I can understand that, and I sympathize with that as well. Do I agree that he should do that? No. I think that he should want a no contest and try to get his get back. But part of the reason why I don't like Devin Haney, because I figured that he wouldn't do that. You know, I figured that he would do exactly what he's doing. He want to win, and he don't want a rematch. But that's okay, though, too. So I'm not going to, I disagree with it, but I'm not going to, I shouldn't have disrespect. I feel like that's disrespectful, because once again, I'm holding him accountable for somebody else cheating. That's not right. That's why I respect you a lot, dog. I like Showbiz and Punch. I wish one day someone call them out for real. They're hella uneducated. I appreciate that, Sing. Like I said, Singing Gang. I don't. It's not that I want to be very clear. I'm not. I do it out of respect, because I don't want to go out my way to disrespect somebody and their platform. You know, I'm familiar with both of their channels because they're both big. You know, and so pause. Hey, yo, they're both their platforms are big, and I know
what.
It takes a lot, you know. I just started my boxing channel, but I've been in content creation for over 5 years, you know what I'm saying? And I've been doing the same edits and stuff like that I've been doing on my gaming videos and stuff like that. So I know it's hard to do, you know, and I respect the hustle and the grind. So I would never disrespect somebody intentionally, but I want to be very clear, and look at me when I say this. I'm not scared of anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just very respectful, because I like to give people the same thing, the same respect that I would like to receive until proven otherwise. You know what I'm saying? If it calls for me to disrespect, then I will be disrespectful. So but I want to be very clear. I'm respectful because I haven't seen their videos. I'm going off of what you say. I'm just saying I've read what you said that they said, but I haven't seen their videos. I may have seen like clips or something like that. Of course, I'm all over boxing. So that doesn't surprise me, anything that you said that they would defend him or whatever. But I'm not chastising them. I'm not degrading them or denouncing them. I'm denouncing the action of defending something that you're unfamiliar with, you have no familiarity with, and you don't even try to. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely attacking that. So if they fit the bill, then so be it. I really, because I know how hard I work and how much energy I put into learning this stuff, bro. I literally read 2 papers. This is why I know this stuff, because I literally went out my way and read the same papers that Dr. Pascal Kentz wrote, and somebody else, I can't remember the other author now, but I read papers on this stuff. I did my due diligence. So why can't they? You see, or anybody else? So I don't respect, because I know the work I put into this. I don't respect anybody else who doesn't do the due diligence, and they're just coming from an angle of they like this person more. Like, to me, that's not reporting with integrity. That's fake news. That's what fake news is. And so once again, I'm not knocking anybody. I don't care what anybody says on their platform. That's their platform. I could care less. You know what I'm saying? They could say that lions fly and snakes bark. I don't give a damn what they say. You know what I'm saying? That's their platform, and good for them. You know, if people want to subscribe to that, if people want to believe that, that's them. You know, more power to them. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying that, hey, a hustler could sell salt to a snail. You know what I'm saying? Salt to a slug. So I'm not mad at that. Do your thing, Pimpin'. I ain't never been no hater. I can't hate on nobody if I wanted to. That's just not in my blood. However, I'm gonna do my job, and I'm gonna do what I think is right for me and mines. And that's why I believe that we have the best boxing community on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of having the best boxing community on YouTube, give me a second. We gonna take an ad break. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Hold on. I'll be right back. Yo, it's your boy. In the middle of the street, we run our own ads. That's what. Hold on, I messed up on the ad. Hold on, chat. I'm coming. Give me a second. Yo, it's your boy Doc again. I know you sitting there like, did this Doc just run his own commercial? Yes. Yes, I did. In the middle of the street, we run our own ads. That's what we do right here. So when you see other boxing channels implement the same idea, I don't mind people biting us. But dang, at least give us some credit. So those of you that are rocking with me, you're already a part of the best boxing channel on YouTube.
That's a fact, ain't it? Ain't it? All right, then.
You already caught up. Those that don't know, the rest of the world, they just got to catch up, baby. You know, and they eventually will, you know, because we bring y'all unfiltered, unbiased, raw, and educated and funny boxing takes, man, with accurate information. Can they all say the same? Of course they can. So let's get right to it, man. Why do you want to become a member of this channel? Because we already told you we're the best, but it does come along with perks, you know what I'm saying? First off, you can join at the STREETZ gang prospect level. You know, it's only $2.99. I know times is rough right now, but you can still contribute, you know what I'm saying? And what do you get? You get member shout outs like this. Shout out to my boy Kendrick for being the first Street Gang prospect member, you know what I'm saying? And then we go to the next one, STREETZ Gang contender. That's the second tier of membership level, you know, and it comes in at $4.99, and you get all the perks of the previous tier like this. Shout out to my boy Merle the Legend, who is our first member at the STREETZ Gang contender level. Big salute to him. In addition to that, you get members only polls. You get to be involved in that, and you get to connect with me, your boy, on social media, and I follow you back, you know what I'm saying? It's all love for my brothers and sisters out there.
But wait, there's more.
And then if you really want to hold it down for your boy, you can come in with a belt at the STREETZ Gang champion level, man. That's $8.99. That's a lot of love. So you get all the perks of the two previous tiers. We don't have anybody at that tier yet, but then not only that, you get to plug in your own social media to have people follow you, and you get to pick the topic of discussion, because you know our discussions are always fire, you know what I'm saying, fire. So I appreciate y'all showing love, but in addition to showing support outside of being a member, you also get shout outs like this. Smoochie in the building, you know what I'm saying? Smoochie be showing love in the super chat, and you get a shout out like this. Spaniard holding it down in the building, you know, because Spaniard be holding it down, and Tyrone James holding it down in the building. Yeah, you might say they corny, but I gotta show my boys and my girls, my brothers and sisters, the kings and queens out there to love. So that is an ad. That's it. Y'all holding it down for me, and you get to feed my boys up here, you know, Kimba, Bed, and Flow, all in the clouds. We be hungry, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be holding it down for me, so I really appreciate the support. Let's get back to regularly scheduled programming. Peace. I said programming. Programming. Yeah. All right. I know it's a little corny, man. I got to do my little ads now. You know what I'm talking about? So shout out to y'all, man. I see Smoochie says, since I got here, I don't watch Biz, Punch, Fanon, any of them anymore. They try to push agendas and it's draining and takes attention for the sport. That's the thing. Like I said, once again, I'm not knocking them, but I peep that too. I think there's a lot of channels with agendas. Now, I will say this. Maybe they get broke off with some paper, you know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, that's none of my business. You know, I don't know why people push agendas. I do like some of those channels, though. You know, I've seen those channels, of course. I watch boxing so much, so I've seen Fanon. I've seen, I've never seen Punches, to be honest. But I have seen Fanons, and I've seen Biz, of course. And, yeah, like I said, they're good. I have nothing bad to say. I don't even want to have anything bad to say unless they take me there, but which I don't see why they would. You know, like I said, I respect people as long as I get respect, and I think that their platforms are good. You know, they wouldn't have that much of a following if they weren't that good. But I will say that I don't like agendas, and I appreciate the fact that y'all appreciate me for not pushing agendas, and I want y'all to also hold me accountable. And Cindy Gang said that's why I respect you a lot, Doc. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that respect. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I could keep that. You know, because I want y'all to hold me accountable, though. If you ever feel like I'm pushing an agenda or lacking objectivity, then I want y'all to hold me accountable and do whatever you feel is appropriate. Whether if that means leaving or whatever, you know, so be it. I don't want anybody to leave, but at the same time, that's how much I value being honest and having integrity and not pushing an agenda. You know, I like boxing. Of course, I'm gonna have my innate biases of who I like more than I dislike, or, you know, I like this fighter more than this fighter. But it's all because of boxing. It's not because I met them before, you know what I'm saying, or they live down the street, or they're the same complexion as me, or they're from the same city, or, you know what I'm saying, or we like the same type of women, or, you know what I'm saying. No, bro, I'm gonna cover boxing, and it is what it is, because I like boxing. Family of facts, we hide our PEDs really well. It's crazy. Coach Malachi kicked me from his chat today. Oh Lord, Devin don't want Ryan's heads again. Oh man, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, the respect, man. He said they're hella uneducated. That's the thing about being educated. And when I tell you that educate yourself, I'm not even saying literally go as you have to have a scholastic career or collegiate career and actually have degrees. You can educate yourself from any aspect. There's a lot of people that are successful that don't have nan degree. You don't need a degree to be educated in an area, but you do have to have the dedication and the desire and the effort to do so. You have to put forth the effort, bro. And I do put forth the effort. You know what I'm saying? And that's why God bless me with some dope people in my stream, and this is just the beginning. But yeah, I definitely want to be the best boxing channel on YouTube. I definitely want to be the most known as the most honest and unbiased and objective boxing channel on YouTube. And whether people like me or not, it is what it is. You know, I think the dope people will, and it's gonna grow like that. You know, because I'm not pandering to anybody. And if I did pander to somebody, you better believe they breaking that bank. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I want people to join the channel and, you know, even interview some people. But no, there's nobody that I like more than I like boxing. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid and I was first got into boxing, like really into boxing, of course I like Mike Tyson and Roy Jones when I was younger. But when I really got into boxing, I remember my favorite fighter was Jermaine Taylor. I thought he could do nothing wrong. I thought he was invincible. That's probably the only time I liked the boxer more than the sport. You know what I'm saying? And then when he lost, I was hurt. Like, I felt like I lost. But then I realized, I was like, dang, man, you know, I just really like boxing, you know. I didn't stop watching boxing because Jermaine Taylor lost or Jermaine Taylor stopped fighting or whatever. My heart goes out to Jermaine Taylor, Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor. He still goes down as one of my favorite ever. He's still my favorite ever. But I like boxing. I box because I like boxing. I watch boxing because I like boxing. So if someone loses, I'll be hurt more than others. Like if Tank loses to Frank Martin. I like Tank more than I like Frank Martin. But I like Frank Martin too. And if Frank Martin beats Tank, I'm not gonna push no narrative about Frank Martin cheating or try to say that they robbed Tank or the referee was looking out for Frank. I mean, unless that really happens. But I don't like any of them that much to where I'm gonna sell out or say things that aren't true. Why? I don't know them. They're no kin to me. You know. Of course, there's some boxers that I like. Like I like Bruce Shushu Carrington a lot. I like Shushu a lot. I like Tank a lot. I like Canelo a lot. But even Canelo with that steak sandwich, if he didn't get proved that that was unintentional, then I would say that he's a cheater still to this day. But I'm okay with their findings and their determination, them determining that it was unintentional. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm gonna go and test a steak myself or test it whatever it is, I'm not. That's not my job. That's not anything I'm interested in. I just know about it because I watch boxing so much, so that information infiltrates my system. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but I'm not trying to prove if someone's innocent to prove someone's guilty. But if someone tells me that they are innocent or they're guilty, then I'm gonna believe it because that's their job. They're the experts in that field, not me. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some expert and then not even put in the work for that. Come on, Smoochie, you know you in the ad. Stop playing. Street Education told me Ryan was on something. Facts. I'm not, bro. You were in the. I said, man, that boy on coke. I thought he was on coke. and like Kendrick said, he said I might have broke the story. His coke could have been laced with Ostarine. I don't know. Maybe that's a contaminated substance. He looked like he was coked up to me. I've been said that. That you know what I'm saying? It ain't hard to spot a cokehead. I'll tell you that. Wilder going to win? I hope so. Wilder? Ooh, I don't know Wilder going. I got Zhang. I remember when Tyson lost to Buster and I was sad, but then I thought about it. I was like, why did I feel bad for $1 million man? Right. Not even that. Not even about the money, because we do get attached to these fighters. It's like when you see your favorite basketball player lose, or boxing is worse because you see them get beat up, you know. At the end of the day, you know, if it's basketball, I tell people this all the time, boxing is different. Boxing takes a whole other type of even MMA too to some degree. It's like it's mano y mano or woman y woman. What happens in basketball, right? How many times have you gotten in a fight in basketball or like gotten in arguments like, hey man, I'll whoop your ass when we get off this court. So you make all these threats, oh you play football, oh you wait till we get off the field, I'll whoop your ass. You can't say that when you boxing. Because if you lost, you probably just got your ass whooped. So it's like little things like that makes a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you got your ass whooped in front of the world. Like at the end of the day, you know, LeBron may have lost to Jokic. But LeBron can say, hey, man, I'll whoop Jokic's ass. You know what I'm saying? But in boxing, Devin Haney lost to Ryan Garcia. And he was cheated. And people still like, Devin Haney can't, he damn sure can't say he go whoop Ryan Garcia's ass. Because we seen that story in front of the world. You know what I'm saying? So in boxing, it's different, man. Because when you lose, you can't even talk shit. You can't even talk shit the same. It's a whole different type of humility, a whole different type of humbleness. So I say boxing is different, man, and I respect everybody that hops to that ring. And you do feel for the people from from a what's the word I'm looking for? From a self-esteem standpoint, because you know you losing for the world, that is embarrassing. You know, yes, you got paid a lot of money, but you know you still take some of that with you, and you know what I'm saying. So I do salute them, and like you said, and like we already know too, you can get hurt permanently, you know, and devastatingly, and sometimes fatally, you know, in the ring. So shout out to them, and they deserve every penny. And but yeah, you shouldn't feel bad because yeah, it's a sport, and they're getting compensated for it. But at the same time, you can't help but feel bad because people are really getting hurt in there. So you're not wrong for feeling bad, Robert. I feel bad too, of course. But they do it for our entertainment, and we feel attached to it. And boxing is like no other, because you know when you're rooting for basketball, you're usually rooting for a team, and you're your favorite player on that team. And what happens if your favorite player leaves that team? You probably go and like the next team that your favorite player's on. But it's still, if they lose, you could blame the teammates, the coaches, whatever. But when you lose as a boxer, you know, yeah, you could blame the trainer, but most likely it's that boxer's fault. You know, the onus is gonna fall on them. You know, so it's a little different, man. It's a little different. But yeah, I appreciate that, Smoochie, what you said. You know, you said that you used to freak with other boxing channels you hear. That makes me feel good, because that means that you found something of value in my channel, and I appreciate that. It means I'm doing something right. You know, even though we're not the size that we want to be, but we'll get there. We shall get there, you know, good Lord willing. And I appreciate the support from everybody. You know, I just really just, that's the thing. It's like, I don't be saying anything that I don't feel. You know, it's not like I'm like that takes too much energy, bro. Like, I don't know how somebody can take, I don't know. Like, I put my energy into trying to find topics that we could talk about, discuss, have fun with, make predictions and stuff like that, and have ideas and creative ideas and edit, and, you know, try to get people on the channel and stuff like that. But I don't even want to put the energy into creating a narrative, especially a false one, and trying to carry that. Because like I said, this is shout out to those channels, man. But like, I know we all see the channels that are all for one fighter. I don't know how they do it, because like, what happens when that fighter loses or stops fighting? Are you gonna go and, I don't want to say dick ride, because that sounds disrespectful, but you're gonna go and cater your channel to somebody else now? Like, what do you do? Like, for example, like the Devin Haney channel is not, granted he cheated. You know, Ryan Garcia had the Austrian system, but it's a little different. But let's say Devin Haney lost legitimately, and he's never the same. Like, those Devin Haney channels, what are y'all gonna do? You gonna go and try to find somebody else to salivate over? I don't understand. Like, or let's say like the people that are all big on I don't know, Isak Pitbull Cruz, and then he does bad. Then what are you gonna do? That's why I'm glad that y'all know me, man. I watch boxing. I'm gonna watch Bivol versus Malik Zinad, just like I would have watched Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. It doesn't. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the 5v5, whether Wilder wins or Zhang wins. I'm still gonna watch. And then Wilder has another fight after Zhang, or Zhang has another fight after Wilder. I'm gonna watch that too, because I like boxing, man. So a lot of these people, I don't think they like boxing as much as they put on. I think they like certain fighters, and I think that's kind of disturbing to like fighters that much, the way your whole everything's about it. Just picked up a Grandma McFlurry from McDonald's. This is better be good. A Grandma McFlurry? What that got in there? That sound good. I felt bad when I lost a fight around my friends. I can only imagine for the millions. Yeah, facts, Robert. Is that Prince up on your screen? Yes, sir. You know, we got shout out to all the late greats, man, of the African persuasion. That's what's here, man. I want to add some more, but I don't want to make it too. I feel like some people already think that it's too much, but I like it. I got to give respect. You know, so that's so the top right. It depends on your perspective. It's top left for me. I'm pointing to the left, but for you, it might be on your top right of your screen. That's Tina Turner. That's Prince. After Prince, that's Arthur Ashe, the tennis player, late great. All of them, rest in peace. That's then under that. Hold on, I can't see my screen right now. Give me a second. Okay, my bad. Okay, so under I don't have it memorized. I have to look at it. So under Arthur Ashe is Nelson Mandela. After that, that's Pimp C, Uncle Chad. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Pimp C. You know what I'm talking about? Rest in peace to Pimp. Under that is Bernie Mac. Then on to the other side of the screen, this way. Sorry, that's Chadwick, Mr. Chadwick Boseman. You know what I'm talking about? The gentleman that acted as you know, famously as Black Panther. That's Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm talking about? Then this is a compilation. That's Tupac. Marvin Gaye, Jam Master Jay, Bob Marley, Left Eye, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, or Lopez. I think it's Lopes though. Some people say Lopez Lopes. Aaliyah and Biggie. And then right here on the desk is Muhammad Ali. And then there, of course, you see the names right there. Kobe Bryant, Darkman X, aka DMX, aka Earl Simmons, and Michael Jackson. I want to add to it, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna add Bill Walton on there too. It ain't just a black thing, but you know, when I first started it, I was trying to show some love to those of the African persuasion that I feel don't get remembered like they should. Often don't get remembered like they should. Or in the light that they should. You know, some people, like I had somebody, I think Smoochie was here, or somebody came here like, oh yeah, Michael Jackson, he's a pedophile, da, da, da. Bro, like it's just funny. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't there. But if you either you're gonna believe in the legal system or you're not. So I mean, if he was found innocent, then how, you know, once the verdict goes through, then it is what it is. You can speculate unless you're an actual detective or you were there. Then I think you should shut up, because when they find other people guilty that you agree with, I mean, other people innocent that you agree with, then you don't say nothing. I think that's wrong. It's like Kobe Bryant when he passed away. You know, people try to still bring up what happened with him and that girl. You know, and hopefully she's okay. Number one, if she's a victim, then you wish them the best. But once it's settled and once it's over with, then you holding it over their heads that's wrong, because you're going off your own feelings. But then when you have Ben Roethlisberger, who has 2 sexual assault allegations, literally, no one says anything of it. Every time you hear Ben Roethlisberger, no one's bringing up his 2 rape cases. Why is that? I mean, these are just facts that I'm telling you. I'm not saying anything that's not factual. These are just questions. I'm just asking why. MLK should be there. Damn, I don't have MLK up there. You're right, I don't have Malcolm X up there either. You know why I don't though? Because I have them already on my other channel. So you guys remember, this is my second channel. So I have on my Twitch channel I have MLK and Malcolm X. But you're right, on this one I don't. That's true. That's really cool. I loved all those, and I appreciate it. Bernie, yeah, Bernie was my favorite comedian. I'm about to find out what's in there now. Okay. Yeah, Purple Rain. Yeah, on my Twitch channel I have others, but not on this one. So a lot of people I don't have, and I have someone that are not falling too, that are still with us. You know, on my other one I have like Beyonce, Lil Wayne, but not on this. But yeah, so that's all I want to talk about, man. I think I finished everything I want to talk about. If anybody wants to join the channel and we could debate, we could talk, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I want to make it clear too. You know, I do get passionate about what we talk about, but don't feel like if you come and join the channel, you talk, you can't get your thoughts off. Like, say, for example, I disagree with Bentley, but if Bentley joined the channel to talk, I will let Bentley talk, because he's the guest. And this is not really. I know some other channels are like that. You know, when they invite somebody on, it's just to debate and sometimes people get on there just to antagonize them too. It's very antagonistic. But no, I want, when people come on the channel, I think it's a pleasure to have them and voice their opinion. Now, if you try to challenge me on something and you're making it that way, then I don't mind debating and stuff like that. But my thought process is to let everybody get their thoughts off and get their be able to express themselves and express their opinions. I know everybody doesn't want to have their opinions want to have to defend their stances or defend their opinions. You know, some people just want to be heard, and that's okay. So you can come be heard, man. That don't mean I'm gonna agree with you, but I'm not gonna be like, oh no, you wrong about that. You wrong. You think that Pacquiao was on something? You're crazy, or you think Floyd Mayweather was scared of Pacquiao? You're crazy. I'm not gonna do that. You know, if you ask me, I'm gonna offer my opinion, but I'm gonna let you get your thoughts off, and we can talk about it. I feel like I proved that though. It's obvious all African people pay a higher price in all aspects of life, but God has a final reward. Amen, Robert. Amen. 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 But you know, we all in this together. You know, we're all in this together. We gotta just treat each other right. But I just felt it on my heart when I made this to show love to some of the ones that I could. You know, I should have put Maya Angelou on here. There's a lot of people that didn't make the cut, but you know, a lot of people should be on here. Marcus Garvey, you know what it is. But yeah, shout out to all people of all shapes, sizes, and ethnicities and colorations that stand up for equality and freedom and contribute to society as a whole, the betterment of society as a whole, whether you're black, Hispanic, Asian, white, or whatever, or somewhere in between. But these are just the ones that I chose to highlight. But yeah, man, so that's it for me, though. That's all I want to talk about. Like I said, if you want to join anybody, let me know. You know, you join the Discord and we could talk, chop it up. But if not, then I got off all my... I definitely said everything that I wanted to say, and I wanted to cover today. So it was a little short. It was a little short one today. But we have the Wolves versus the Mavericks coming up tomorrow, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully the Wolves win, but we'll see how it goes. You know, they forced a game 5, almost got swept, but they forced a game 5. I'm hoping that they win, but I don't know, man. The Mavs look serious, man. So yes, sir. Y'all be easy. Good night, Robert. Y'all love them Wolves. I'm telling you, Smoochie. I'm trying to have them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? They thug thizzle, because the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference getting swept. That would have been crazy, but you know the Wolves won last game, and I just like basketball is my second favorite sport. Boxing is my number one, but boxing is my number one favorite sport. But basketball is a close second. Growing up, in high school and stuff, we didn't have a boxing team in my high school, so I would have boxed. But my first love, the sport that I first fell in love with was basketball. But then boxing overtook that. But yeah, I played basketball, I played football in high school, and I ran track as well. And I boxed once I got to college. But yeah, so I love basketball and box. Those are my two favorite sports. So my bad. I know it's a Dr. Basketball talk head ass. But yeah, man, y'all be easy. Take care of yourself. I appreciate y'all joining me. I'll be on tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the video I dropped. Oh yeah, I forgot. What the heck? I dropped a video with y'all know that so remember I told you that Tyson Fury has exercised his right to have the rematch against Alexander Usyk. There's two things. One good news, one bad news. The good news is that Turki Al-Sheikh already got a fight date. December 20. I dropped a video on it. Go check it out. December 21st is the fight date for the rematch. Bro, Turki putting in work, bro. Turki Al-Sheikh is doing his thing. You know what I'm talking about? You heard me? So it's crazy. Yeah? So I love that. It's at the end of this year. Good Lord willing, right around Christmas time. So that's dope. And then, but the not so good news is that it is heavily suspected that while I did tell you in another video, that Alexander Usyk has petitioned or requested to keep the IBF title because IBF wants to strip him and make the Hrgovic and Dubois fight at IBF title fight for the IBF championship. It's been today. It's speculated today, especially and it was from Eddie Hearn himself that he said he highly believes that he highly doubts that the IBF will grant Usyk's request to keep the IBF title. So if he can't retain it, then obviously the rematch on December 21st will not be for undisputed. But it's okay, it's still cool because he said that the most likely scenario is that Filip Hrgovic and Dubois will fight, even though it won't be for the IBF title either. It won't be for a vacant title, but the winner of Hrgovic and Dubois will fight Anthony Joshua, and that fight will be for the IBF title. So I'm not too mad at that, but I would like for it to have been an undisputed rematch again, but it's all good. I ain't tripping. But that was released today in the video. Go check it out if you haven't done so already. If you haven't checked out the last video, shame on you. Hit that bell, turn on notifications, you know what I'm saying? So you get notified when I drop another YouTube video banger, because we go crazy with the YouTube video bangers, man. So I appreciate y'all rocking me as always. I love y'all for real. I'll be back on, was there anything else I want to say about that? Tyson Fury. Oh, IBF ain't playing. IBF, they're the same people that stripped Terrence Crawford when he got undisputed at 147 from Errol Spence. They stripped him of his title and gave it to Jerome Boots Ennis. IBF also, they want to strip Usyk, right? And then IBF is the same one that's talking about stripping Canelo as well, unless he goes fight William Skull. So IBF is not playing. I like the consistency. I'm not mad at that. I really like that because I think it's better for boxing. I think they do need to enforce these rules and make people fight their mandatories. However, I just don't like the inconsistency of when they enforce it. Like, there's no reason that Terrence Crawford should have got stripped before Canelo. Or Usyk is talking about getting stripped after just winning, and Canelo had it so long. And I like Canelo. I want Canelo to keep undisputed. But I do like the fact that IBF are starting to be more active with enforcing the rules as far as mandates. That's a good sign for boxing. That's good news. It keeps the sport going, man. It keeps everything rolling. So on one hand, I don't like it because they took so long to enforce the same rules, and they were quick to enforce. They took so long to enforce the rules on Cinnamon that they quickly enforced on Bud and Usyk. But I like the consistency of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's, glass, be optimistic, pessimistic, glass half full versus glass half empty. You know what I'm saying? So the bad part is that they're stripping them from the undisputed so fast, but the good part is that they're being consistent and enforcing the rules. So I gotta give credit where credit is due as well. So I'm not a Dubois fan at all. That Dubois fight sounds. Who you think is gonna be born? No, Smoochie, I disagree. I think that fight is gonna be. I think that fight gonna be lit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think somebody going. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's not going to decision. Somebody, of course, they're heavyweights already too. So the fact that they're heavyweights, it's likely not to go to decision. It's more likely not to go to decision anyway. But they got some bad blood. I'm excited for that fight. Dubois and Hrgovic. Oh, somebody going night. Somebody's going. I'm telling you. Somebody going. So I'm excited for that fight. But yeah, I'm most excited for Ray Ford versus Nick Ball, though. I'm gonna be honest. I'm very excited for that. The fight that I think can go either way, the most competitive fight to me. I don't know if I actually be competitive in the ring, but the one that I think is most competitive on paper, and I'm not really sure who's going to win, is Hamza Shiraz versus Austin Emma Williams, or now Austin Tiger Williams. I thought Hamza was going to win. I was leaning towards Hamza, but now it's changed a little bit. But if I had to pick right now today, I would still go with Hamza beating Austin Williams. But we'll see. We'll see. So even without Beterbiev and Bivol, this Saturday, good Lord willing, is going to be fire for boxing, man. Man, it's a great time to be a boxing fan. I don't care what you say. The only time it's not a good time to be a boxing fan is if one of your favorite fighters loses and you just fangirling over them or fanboying over them, whichever way you want to, whatever you are, you know. But this is great for boxing, man. Boxing has been on the up and up this year. Has been fire, man. I'm so happy with how boxing is going right now. We have a whole bunch of fights. Like I said, Tank versus Frank, which I'm excited for that fight. You know, David Benavidez versus Vosdik, Alexander Vosdik. Man, there's just so many. You know, Terrence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. You got Pitbull versus Vayo Valenzuela. You know, Isa Pitbull Cruz versus Jose Rayo Valenzuela. Who else, man? We got a whole bunch of fights. I know I missed Gary Antoine Russell back in the game, back in the ring against Alberto Puello. We got Juan Francisco Estrada going against Jesse Bam Rodriguez. This is all off the top of my head. These are just fights that are upcoming. I know I missed some. We got Blair the Flair Cos versus Adrian the Problem Broner. Woo! I ain't gonna lie. I might put. Depends on how the odds are. I think I got Blair the Flair. It's crazy. I might lean towards Blair the Flair. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna just be honest. You know, I think Adrian Broner can win. I think at their primes he would win. But I don't know. A lot of people think that he should win based off historically. You know, historically speaking, they think he should win. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think I might lean towards Blair the Flair, especially considering what the odds look like. If Blair the Flair is a heavy underdog, I might put some money on Blair the Flair. I ain't gonna lie. And then we got Liam Paro versus Subriel Matias. What else? Shakur Stevenson versus Artem Hunter Union. I don't think that's a good fight. But it's always nice to see Shakur in the ring, even though he had a terrible, lackluster, boring performance last time. I just like to see the boxing, who I consider boxing greats, to go in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Just like I like to see Lomachenko and Kambosos, even though I missed the fight due to tornadoes. I thought that was great. Then Keyshawn Davis is hopping in the ring. I can't remember who he's fighting. I want to say he's fighting Jesse Madueno. Jesse Madueno. Jesse Madueno, I think his name is Jesse Madueno. Something Madueno. Keyshawn's fighting. So there's a lot of people going to be in the ring. Bruce Shushu Carrington is fighting. I can't remember the gentleman he's fighting. So there's a lot of fights now, you know. So this is an exciting time for boxing. And yeah, and now anyways returning to the ring supposedly September. Christian and Billy is fighting Sergey Derevchenko in August. He just fought. They're fighting August 17th. Christian and Billy just fought this past weekend. But he got Mark Heffron out of there in 40 seconds. He said, man, I can fight again tomorrow. Hey, you talking about? So, so we got a lot of great fights. Like I said, Terrence Crawford, Israel Madrimov. Errol Spence supposed to be fighting Fundora in October. Bro, I know I'm missing some fights too, but I'm telling you, man, this year is crazy. I'm trying to keep you on here. Who lost their fireworks, Wilder, bro? I'm trying to keep you on it. I don't mind talking. I just don't like to sit here. You know, I'm already talking about myself. I don't like to just be talking about myself all the time. That's why I be encouraging people to come on. But I don't mind you keeping me on here as long as we got stuff to talk about. It's fine to be suspicious, but fully accusing Pac for taking PEDs because he didn't want to get tested is nothing. Yeah, facts in the game. Late response, but I get it to be hella suspicious, but there was never evidence, so it's a fact. Pacquiao never cheated. I agree with that. I'm tired of people accusing Pac for taking PEDs when there's no proof. No, so Cindy gang, you know, it's okay to be late. So I want to be honest with you. I wasn't accusing Pacquiao of taking PEDs. My only point was that I can understand the suspicion if you're Floyd. I don't think you should be suspicious if you're not a fighter. I don't think he was taking it. But my point is that when people blame Floyd for the fight not happening when they felt like it should have happened, I feel like that's disingenuous and you're not telling the whole truth. Because there was reasons they both didn't come to an agreement. And one of the biggest hindrances was that Pacquiao didn't want to subscribe to Olympic style testing. And my point of bringing that up was that somebody said that earlier today, but I wanted to point out to you that the same Olympic style testing that Pacquiao didn't want to do during the Floyd fight, he just tried to fight in the Olympics this year. He just got denied this year because they said he was 5 years over the age limit. They said the age limit is now 40, and Pacquiao's, like as you know, is 45. So if he's gonna fight in the Olympics, that means he's gonna do what? Do the Olympic style testing. So why is he okay? Why is he okay with doing it now? You know what I'm saying? Maybe he changed religion. I don't know. But I also prefaced it with saying that I don't think Pacquiao cheated. Pacquiao's one of my favorite fighters. I don't think he cheated. I really mean what I say. Like, if the rules didn't say he cheated, then I have no reason to believe that he cheated. But my point was that you cannot just blame Floyd for it not happening when obviously we know that a big hindrance was also that Pacquiao didn't want to do the drug testing. Another hindrance was the money split, right? But I just don't get why they people just blame Floyd. But I mean, I do get it because they don't like Floyd, and that's fine. You don't like him, but we gotta tell the whole truth. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, both parties could not come to an agreement. That was the point I was making. So yes, I did use the steroids part to further enhance my point because I was going from the standpoint that it may not only have been the Olympic style testing that was a problem, or maybe not just been his religion that he didn't want to do it because he was gonna do it up until this year. So that was the point I was making. So I was just saying that to further show you that maybe Floyd did have a right to be suspicious. And also look at Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. And that's why I kind of went on that tangent too, because look at Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. I'm not knocking Bentley's my guy. Bentley's in the chat. But Bentley is adamant that the steroids means nothing. He said he don't care about the steroids. And that's okay. I'm not saying that he's wrong for that. But my point is that if Pacquiao, let's say hypothetically speaking, that we did find out after he knocked out Floyd Mayweather that he was cheating, do you think people would care? No, they wouldn't care, because some people obviously don't even care that Ryan Garcia was on it. But they don't care whether or not he was on it. You know what I'm saying? Whether he was on it or not. They still say Devin Haney got a lot of people, not everybody. Like, I care, you care, and people with common sense care. I mean, no disrespect, Bentley. I'm sorry. I'm saying a lot of people do care, but a lot of people also don't care. And I didn't mean to disrespect Bentley's my guy. But I do think there's a lot of, I'm saying the fanatics will say that it doesn't matter. Because I'm with Bentley. The only difference between me and Bentley is that I care that he cheated. And I don't care how effective it was, but I do care that he cheated. Bentley doesn't care. But I will say this. This is the part that I agree with Bentley. I don't think Ryan Garcia needed to take the steroids. But that doesn't matter, because what trumps the fact of what I think is what I know. And what I do know is that he had that in the system. But I do not think that Ryan Garcia needed to have it in his system to beat Devin Haney. But I could also be wrong, because I'm going off of what I saw. And what I saw was the result of him also having stuff, the result when he had something in the system. So yeah, so I want to be clear. I'm not saying that Pacquiao cheated. No, I wouldn't make Pacquiao my emote. Pacquiao's one of my emotes for my channel, right? I wouldn't make Pacquiao. I call him, he's an icon. I wouldn't call him a legend or an icon if I thought he cheated. So I don't think he cheated, but I do denounce the notion that the reason why the fight didn't happen sooner is only because of Floyd. No, it's because they both couldn't agree. For whatever reason, they couldn't agree on. Pacquiao do a side quest, that freaking legend, and go. Yeah, Pacquiao's a beast, man. Pacquiao's a beast, man. So I don't want you to think that I'm saying that. I'm definitely not saying that. You know how I feel about the heavyweight division. That's true. I do. And you're right to feel that way. My bad. I got to look at the chat in my phone because my chat is messing up on my OBS. I don't know why. Yeah, I agree. There's no proof, and proof means everything. It's fine to be suspicious, but fully accuse him for Pac because he didn't want to get tested is nothing. Yeah, I don't think anybody should. Like I said, I don't think you should accuse him, but I can understand why somebody who wants somebody to take the test would be suspicious. Who lost their fireworks? Wilder or Broner? Ooh, who lost their fire? I don't want you to leave. It's okay. I appreciate you. I'm trying to keep you all here. I don't mind. Who lost their fireworks? You know what? This might be controversial. You might disagree with this. I'm gonna say Broner lost his fire worse, because Wilder was at least still fighting. He looked bad when he was still fighting. So that means that lets me know that you at least have the desire and you're still in love with the sport. You may just not have it in you anymore. Broner wasn't fighting at all. So I feel like you lost your fire. It's one thing to look bad, but it's another thing when you don't even want to look like nothing because you're not in the ring at all. So I would say Broner lost his fire more. Now, if you ask me who lost their ability more, I think that's a different question. I think Wilder may have lost his ability more, but I also think that because I haven't seen Broner. Maybe part of the reason why Broner has lost his fire or haven't been participating because he said that he's been going through some mental things. Admittedly, he openly admitted that, but maybe also he could have been sparring and it was like, hey, man, I can't do this no more like I used to, or I expect I should be able to. You know, but I would say that Broner lost his fire more because Wilder was still fighting. He just looked horrible. But didn't Floyd take an IV? Is that literally cheating? There was actual proof. Well, the IV they say is cheating, but it depends on some people. Still, to be clear, I'm gonna be honest. Number one, the IV is circumstantial, right? Because some allow and some don't. The IV it's not like a PED, right? So where certain PEDs are banned from use in the sport. Some, I believe it's up to the sanctioned, but I think some sanctioned bodies allow IVs. But don't quote me. That's number one. Number two, I don't know if it was the actual proof because once again, just like Pacquiao wasn't there was no proof that he was on something. The IV was a suspicion. They say that he was, they saw it or whatever, but unless you actually show me a picture with him on it, hooked up to it, and then you also show me in the rules that was forbidden, then I'm gonna also treat him just like Pacquiao. I don't think he was on steroids. I'm not sure he was on the. I'm not gonna say that it was illegal to use the IV, just like or I'm not gonna say that he was doing something illegal, just like I'm not gonna say Pacquiao was doing something illegal. I mean, if you get caught and you're in trouble, then I'm gonna go with that. But if you're and like you said, if there's proof and he wasn't in trouble, then obviously he wasn't doing something that wasn't wrong. He wasn't doing anything that was wrong, necessarily. Pacquiao trying to be in the Olympics. That man needs to sit down. Yeah, he needs to go be a senator like he's doing. Pacquiao doing side quests with a freaking legend. Fact. I actually agree with you. Broner just crashed. Appreciate it, Smoochie. Yeah. Why is your channel so underrated? No boxing YouTubers educated and unbiased as you. No lie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, bro. I don't know, man. You know, you gotta pray for me, brother. You know what I'm talking about? Hey. You know, hey, when we do take off, you know, what God has in store for you, no man can take from you. You know what I'm saying? Whom God bless, no man can curse. So who God bless, no man can curse. Maybe it's just not my time. I don't know. You know, that's something I gotta pray about, and I do pray about it. You know, I don't know, but once we do take off, we going to the moon, baby. You better believe that. We going to the bumba clot moon. What's an IV? Intravenous. So the IV in this term is intravenous bodily fluid. So I mean intravenous fluids. So he's trying to help him hydrate more effectively and faster. And more comfortably. So in this case, you know, the IV is for anything that's intravenous. You know, I always struggle with that word. So it's an intravenous line that's gonna give you fluids, you know, to help your recovery rate. So exactly what it's gonna do depends on what's in the IV itself. So yeah, so it's a way to administer and distribute medical fluids, basically, just fluids, period. So. Yeah, that's what an IV is. What makes sense with Floyd accused of taking the IV? Yeah, I would watch you over Showbiz, to be honest. That fool too goofy. Like I said, I'm not in the business of I will trust your opinion, but I don't want it to see like that's my opinion, because I don't want to be seen as no hater. Man. I ain't never been no hater, so you know, and I don't want to denounce another platform. I can just say that, hey, we do things differently over here. That's all I can say, you know. And I do my thing, you know. That's all I can say. So I like old Biz with the Jerry curl. I appreciate y'all, but that's the thing too, you know, because hey, I will say this too, and I'm not defending, I'm not attacking or defending anybody, but I will say this: sometimes people's opinion. I'm not saying that y'all. I'm not accusing y'all of this either. I'm just saying generally. Sometimes people's opinions change on you too. You know, like sometimes people change, but also sometimes people's perspective or opinions change on people as well. Like, you know, and at a certain time, to a certain extent, you should change. There's nothing wrong with change either. You know, it's because you can change for the better. You could change for the worse, but you can also change for the better. And sometimes people have an expectation of you that may not fit your direction that you're trying to go at a given moment. So, you know, I hate to say it, and I hope it's not true, but Smoochie, maybe you might become, you know, Smoochie and Cinny Gang, maybe y'all might, you know, maybe I do grow and get big. Like you say, you wish for me to get big and grow. I wish for me the same, but maybe I do, and then maybe y'all don't like me anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know, so I hope not, because I mean, I'm me, so I don't change at all as far as my outlook. Like I said, God forbid that happens, but you know, that could happen, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, hey, you know, you might just get older or priorities change, you know? Sometimes, like, for example, like, sometimes I watch, like, old anime, right? I watch Dragon Ball Z, and I think that's the best, right? And I watch animes, but as I got older, I don't watch animes as much as I used to. Did animes get worse? Maybe. Did animes change? Maybe. But maybe I don't look at anime the same too. Maybe my perspective changed. You know, maybe I'm noticing things that I don't like or that turn me off more than I did before. You know, so maybe there's some things that I didn't like, but I was like, okay, I still like anime so much that I could overlook it. Then, and maybe my outlook on life changed or my perspective changed, and now I don't tolerate the same things that I tolerated before. So that's always a possibility. So I don't know. Just don't go Green Day unnecessarily. You know my team. I couldn't sell out if I tried. I ain't gonna sell out nothing. You know, I'm always gonna tell it how it is. I'm always gonna say how I feel I feel like y'all sense the honesty in me. You know, that's how I'll always be. Like I said, once again, what trumps everything is that I like boxing. So my favorite boxer right now. Who's my favorite boxer? My favorite active boxer right now? I don't know. It might be Tank and Canelo. Those two might maybe Tank, Canelo, and Bud. I like Junto Nakatani a lot, but I wouldn't put him over those three. So let's say my top two boxers. Let's just say my top two boxers are Tank and Canelo. Right? If Tank and Canelo, if it came out that Tank and Canelo cheated, I'm gonna say the same thing, that they cheated and they shouldn't have did it. If Tank and Canelo lose, I'm gonna make a video about them losing. And I'm still gonna watch boxing the next day if there's a fight on. So nothing's gonna change. I do like those fighters, but it's not gonna stop me or deter me from watching boxing. Like, what? Like I said, I'm going for Tank against Frank Martin. But I respect Frank Martin. I think Frank Martin's a very good boxer. And if Frank Martin beats Tank, I'm not gonna come out with conspiracy theories or say that Tank was unless it was something that, unless something that was legitimate came out, and then I'll report on that too. Supporter of basketball, I like Matias, but he did some scary shit. Oh Lord, what happened with Matias? Supporter in the building, back in the building. He was here earlier. I can tell who's more educated. You definitely way smarter. I appreciate that. I get it. Showbiz can say what he wants as his opinion, but you can tell he doesn't do his due diligence like at all, including, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. I'm glad that you recognize that in me, and that's how I feel like I'm gonna stand out. That's how I feel like I do stand out, because number one, I'm me, so I'm gonna stand out because as long as I'm trying to be true to myself, as long as I'm being true to myself, there's nobody that could be me. Just like I can't be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? I can only be the best version of me, just like they can only be the best version of them. And if I was trying to be something that was fake or imitating somebody else, I think y'all would sense that. So my authenticity is my strength, and that's what I wear on my authenticity and my objectivity is what I wear on my sleeve, because that's how I feel, So yeah, but yeah, man. So So I just want to keep going and keep growing, and hopefully y'all keep rocking with me. Watch all my videos and watch the full video and like the video and tell your mama, your auntie, your grandmama, your granddaddy, your friend, your boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, everybody in between. You know what I'm talking about? Your nieces, your nephews, your cousin, them, little Pookie, them. Tell them to check out the channel if they love boxing and subscribe to your boy. You feel me? I appreciate that. Yeah, we growing a lot. We started in December, so I'm happy with the growth. Of course, when you're going through a process, you want to grow even more and you want to grow faster, but I'm happy with the growth, man. God is good. Anyways, the best boxer in the world despite getting dropped for the first time. Do you agree? Only because he is the most active fighter at the moment. He knocking them all out. Okay, so that's a good argument. He said that Boots got to come to 140 if he ain't fighting him at 147. Who said that? Oh, really? Oh, he said that? Oh, wow. Supporter said that? So, that's crazy. I mean, Supporter said that. Matias said that? Hey, Matias and Boots? That's a good one. At 147, I think, I'm not mad at that. Now, if Matias plans to go to 147 and he's saying he will only fight Boots at 140, then that's some scary shit. You know what I'm saying? He's selling out. That's some whole shit. But if he's saying that he wants to stay at 140 and that he'll only fight Boots if Boots comes down to 140, I'm cool with that. I don't think you have to move up. Like, this notion that everybody has to move up. No, phenomenal fighters, you're phenomenal for moving up and being successful, but that's not the only way to be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, look at Bernard Hopkins. He campaigned at middleweight, 160. He had the most title defenses. Is he not a Hall of Famer? Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. Triple G, I think he has the most successful title defenses at middleweight at 22 now, but before that was Bernard Hopkins at 20. So you don't have to move up to be great, but moving up is a way to become great. But that's not the only way. You don't have to be undisputed to be great, but being undisputed is a way to be great. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have multiple championships in multiple divisions, but doing that is a way to be great. You don't have to be undefeated to be great, but being undefeated is a way to be great. So like, there's different ways to skin the cat. That's the thing. You don't have to be an 8 division champion like Pacquiao to be great. You don't have to be undisputed like Usyk to be great. You don't have to have one punch devastating knockout power like Tyson to be great. You don't have to beat everybody that you ever stepped in the ring with like Lennox Lewis to be great. You see what I'm saying? But you can still do other things and be great. Carve out your own path. Because I could give you examples of fighters that are great that have never been undisputed. I can give you examples of fighters that are great that weren't undefeated. I can give you examples of fighters that were great that didn't leave their weight class. I can give you examples of fighters that are great that didn't have knockout power. I can give you examples of fighters that are great. I can just keep going because I really watch boxing. I can give you fighters that are great that are black. I can give you fighters that are great that are female. I give you fighters that are great that are Asian, Hispanic, Caucasian, or white or African. I can give you all that. I can give you examples of fighters that are great from any walk of life, any shape, size. I can give you examples of fighters that are great at heavyweight, bantamweight. You know what I'm talking about? I might struggle at flyweight though. Them little motherfuckers, I don't. I can think of some, but not many. All right, so to answer your question, City Gang, Inoue is the best boxer in the world. Do I agree? I agree. I'm gonna tell you this, City Gang. I agree that Inoue, I don't care about. So what you said about Louis Neary, despite him getting dropped, I'm gonna tell you this, City Gang. I think, of course, you getting dropped is never good. I think him getting dropped diminishes his aura of invincibility, right? I tell people this all the time. Naoya Inoue is unbeaten. I don't think he's unbeatable. Some people will knock that, but to me, that's what makes it more interesting because he's not perfect and he still finds a way to win. So him getting dropped in the first round, people think that, oh, that means that's a bad thing. No, I think that's a good thing because he got dropped in the first round and came back and knocked him out in the 6th round. By the 6th round. So to me, that shows that he could take a punch and still react and recover and still dominate. So I'm not saying that means nothing. It means something. So if you are somebody that you're an opponent or a potential opponent, if you're a potential opponent of Inoue, then of course you take notes. Of course you'd be like, I bet he does punch it a little wide, so I can sneak a punch in there while he's throwing a wild punch. There's nothing. People think that because you're undefeated, that means you're invincible. No, it just means that you're good at working with your tools that you have and excelling at that. So I never thought Naoya Inoue was a perfect fighter. That people think that because you're undefeated, you're perfect. No, Terrence Crawford's not perfect either. If you look at Terrence, this is why I think Terrence Crawford and Canelo is a very good fight, because I think Terrence Crawford could beat Canelo, but Terrence Crawford is not the most evasive fighter out there. He can get hit and he likes to trade sometimes. And Canelo, you trade with Canelo used to get hit by 168 fighters. Canelo fought at 175 against Bivol. He lost, but Bivol didn't knock him out. You think Canelo's stronger than Bivol? He could be, but most likely he's not. So that's why that fight is very interesting. You know what I'm saying? So to get back to answer your question about Inoue, do I agree that he's the best? Number one, I don't knock him for getting dropped by Louis Neary at all. That's number one. So to me, that has nothing to do with my answer. But I don't think he's the best pound for pound. Me personally, I give it to Usyk right now. But I don't. So I think that to me, the top 3 is Usyk, Inoue, and Crawford in no particular order. So I don't mind if you have Inoue number 1, Crawford number 2, Usyk number 3, or you have Usyk number 2, Crawford number 1, Inoue number 3. But I think if you don't have one of those 3 in the top 3, then I think you're wrong, in my opinion, because I don't think that you can argue anybody being above those 3. Now, what order that you have him in, it's dependent on you. I feel like that's up for debate. That's what's debatable, but it's not the top 3. The top 3 is definitively Usyk, Inoue, and Crawford. Now, if you're asking me who do my order is Usyk, Inoue, and Crawford. Now, but to answer your question, do I think Inoue is the best? Yes, I have Inoue over Bud, but like you said, it's because Bud's inactivity. Bud has been out of the ring for almost a year, or probably a year. By the time he fights August 3rd, right? I think him and Errol Spence fought last year in July, right? So it'll be over a year since we saw him last in the ring. I think that Terrence Crawford's win over Errol Spence is more impressive than Usyk's win over Tyson Fury. And I think it's more impressive than everybody that Inoue has beat, because Errol Spence is on the pound for pound list and he was arguably the best welterweight since Floyd Mayweather retired. That's what he was being touted as, you know what I'm saying, and covered as. So I think Errol Spence, and Errol Spence, if I'm not mistaken, beat more champions than anybody that Inoue or Usyk has fought. So so I think that win and the way that he did it that Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence, I think that was the best win. However, it was still over a year and a half ago. Or I'm not a year and a half, sorry, over a year ago. Inoue had beat Marlon Tapales by knockout, Louis Neary by knockout. You know what I'm saying? He's about to fight somebody else in September. So I think that quantity doesn't beat quality, but now you Inoue, the monster, is definitely have some qualitative wins. You know what I'm saying? He's not fighting bums. None of them are fighting bums. He's fighting good people. But I don't think any of them are as good as Errol Spence. With that being said, I still have Inoue over Terrence Crawford because, like I said, he's winning in convincing fashion, dominating fashion, and he's been active. So my pound for pound right now is Usyk, Inoue, and Crawford. But I think Terrence Crawford is the best fighter right now today. That's why I give him a chance against Canelo, because not that I think that he's. I would lean towards Canelo, but not because I think Canelo's better. I do think size means something. You know what I'm saying? Canelo has taken hits from bigger guys, you know, and he has hit bigger guys, you know what I'm saying? So I think that has something to do with it. But because I think Crawford is so good, that's the only reason why I give a freaking 147-pounder a chance against Canelo, who I think is an all-time great. And I think he's a face of boxer right now. But I do think I have to consider all factors. And one of the factors is activity. And Bud's inactivity, I can't put him over. Me personally, I can't put him over Usyk or Inoue. That's just my opinion on that. But I don't think anybody's wrong as long as you have those three in the top three. Inoue responding to the Cine Gang. Okay, Smoochie, you responding. He is number one pound for pound. Yeah, I have Usyk number one. I know some people will say Usyk is not in it because he's a heavyweight, but even if you say that, Usyk came from cruiserweight. So you got to factor that in too. Okay, so Barroso is number one pound. That's crazy. Ishmael Barroso, shout out to Ishmael Barroso. Bodman. Yo, what's good, Bear? What's good, Bear? How you doing? Inoue is definitely underrated. I can't believe people say Bam stands against Inoue. Like Bam is good, but not even close to as good as Inoue. Like, no. Yeah, I think Jesse Bam Rodriguez is good. I think Inoue wins. But I personally don't believe Inoue is underrated. I think he's rated appropriately. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's rated appropriately. Exactly. Nobody's talking about how he got dropped the first round and dominated the way he did is freaking insane to me. Right. I can't believe nobody talks about that. Only him getting dropped, because people don't. That's the thing. You got to understand, Cine Gang. Some people watch boxing to see people lose. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes they don't even have to see them lose. All they have to do is see them not look flawless, and they have a problem. Like, I think, don't get me wrong, I think him getting touched is evident of him punching wild. But if you watch boxing and you really watch it analytically and not just observe it to see somebody get knocked out and someone get embarrassed, if you really watch it, you know that Inoue punches wild. So that wasn't a shocker to me. You know what I'm saying? I was shocked that Louis Neary did it in the first round, but it wasn't a shocker to me that somebody did it. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think that I don't think Inoue is flawless. Just like I think Terrence Crawford is damn near close, but I don't think he's flawless either. People are talking about the knockdown because it was unexpected. His reaction was priceless. It was executed beautifully. Facts. My top three is Barroso, Colbert, and third. I'm asleep. This is what happens when you watch basketball. You make lists like that. That's crazy. Talking about supporter. What up? Hey, GT in the building. What's good with you? You the legend, brother. What's good? You the legend, brother. I appreciate that. Your top three ain't messing with my top three. But Errol Spence had injuries from the car accident, and that's a fact, City Gang. I'm going to explain that after I read your comment. Yeah, the way he beat Spence was impressive, but the only showed styles makes fights. Who do you feel is the best finisher, Bud or Inoue? That's a good question. So with Errol Spence, I do agree with you. I tell people this all the time, City Gang. Errol Spence had injuries from the car accident. I feel like if you deny that, you are being disingenuous at best. If you watch Errol Spence versus, first of all, Ugas fought Pacquiao. Ugas beat Pacquiao. Why did Ugas fight Pacquiao? Before that, it was supposed to be Spence versus Pacquiao. A lot of people either forget that, don't know that, or they omit that conveniently. Spence was supposed to fight Pacquiao. Spence got in a car accident. So Ugas replaced Pacquiao. Then Pacquiao was supposed to beat Ugas, and then Spence was supposed to come back and fight Pacquiao again. But Ugas messed around and beat Pacquiao. So that's why we got Spence versus Ugas. Right? My point in saying that is that Spence was not the same against Ugas, because guess what? If you go back and watch that fight, the commentary during that fight and in the build-up, people said, I wonder if Spence is going to be the same. And if you watch the commentary, people said, man, Spence looks good, but he does not look the same. That's a fact. That's not a lie. Then Spence also fought Danny Garcia. Wait, who did he fight first? He fought Danny Garcia or he fought Ugas first? I think he fought Ugas first. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me check it out. I forget. I think he fought Ugas first, then Danny Garcia. Let me look it up just so I'm not misleading. He may have fought Danny Garcia first. I think he fought Danny Garcia first. Yeah, he fought Danny Garcia first. Okay, and if you even before that, you go watch him fight Danny Garcia. What did Angel Garcia, who's Danny Garcia's father and trainer, what did Angel Garcia say? He said, "Oh, we're gonna beat Errol Spence because we know he's not the same, and I seen him. He doesn't look the same." And sure enough, in that commentary, people also said Errol Spence is good, but he doesn't look the same, right? But people don't care when you win. So they said, oh, he looked good enough to still win. He still beat Ugas, still beat Danny Garcia, so people didn't care. But when he lost to Terrence Crawford, all of a sudden people cared that he didn't look the same. But I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. He could not look the same and not be 100%, but he still lost to Terrence Crawford badly. And obviously people, unless you're Terrence Crawford, I don't think anybody does Errol Spence like that. So while I agree with you, I'm not diminishing Errol Spence's win. Terrence Crawford's win, because I don't think anybody would beat, besides Terrence Crawford, would beat Errol Spence like that. I don't care if it's an 85% Spence. Nobody's beating Errol Spence like that. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I do think he was hurt. I think both these things could exist simultaneously. I think he wasn't 100%, but even if he was 100%, I still don't think he beats Terrence Crawford. And yes, styles make fights, but I don't care what style. You're not supposed to beat Errol Spence like that. Errol Spence is a beast. You know, Errol Spence beat Sean Porter. Errol Spence beat Kell Brook. Errol Spence beat Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence, go down the line. He fought champion. The man don't take tune-ups. So Errol Spence was definitely a beast. And I don't think he was 100%, but I don't think that diminishes Terrence Crawford's win, because I don't think anybody beats Errol Spence like that. That's number one. Number two, what's also important is that it is well documented that Errol Spence was struggling to make 147 for a while. But he told Terrence Crawford that before he moves up to 154, leaves the 147-pound division, the welterweight division, he promised him that he was going to fight him and make the fight happen. He was a man of his word. So instead of people shitting on Errol Spence for looking bad and getting beat up, they should applaud this man for being a man of his word. That's rare these days, and not making excuses. You know what I'm saying? I don't think sometimes the truth is what it is. Making an excuse, in my opinion, is what Deontay Wilder did when he lost to Tyson Fury and said, oh, I like Deontay Wilder, by the way, but when he said, oh, my legs were weak from wearing that 40-pound ring attire when I was walking to the ring. That's an excuse. No one told you to wear that ring gear. No one told you to wear that. You wore that by choice, voluntarily. So if your legs are weak, that's an excuse. Or Howard Davies, when he lost to Ismael Barroso, he said that the oxygen levels in the casino kept him awake at night and he couldn't sleep, and the lights were keeping him up. That's an excuse. You see what I'm saying? Tyson Fury made an excuse when he said that Usyk only won because the Ukraine is going through a war right now, and people want to see the representative of the war-torn country win. That's an excuse. Saying that you were in a freaking car accident and having the documentation to prove it, and we actually see him in a wheelchair being carted off from the hospital with the eye patch over his eye, just having cataract surgery. That's not an excuse. That just is what it is. We saw his car tore up. I don't get why people can't just take stuff with it. People are just so radical and ridiculous. So all these things can exist. But to go back to what you said, I don't think it should be diminished of that Terrence Crawford still beat him. It's like with Canelo, right? When Canelo moved up and beat Kovalev, people said, oh, well, Kovalev already lost to Andre Ward, so he was diminished. I don't give a damn. This man still moved up to light heavyweight, and fought a guy nicknamed the Crusher. Yes, he wasn't the same, but it's guys, dang, we don't live in a utopian society, an idealistic world. Very few things are perfect. You know what I'm saying? So people always have a reason to downplay something that they don't like, or somebody they don't like, and that's our issue with the same Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao stuff. Yes, the fight happened at a later date that we wanted, or we anticipated, or we desired. But still, stop knocking them. The result is the result, man. And they actually fought. So it is what it is. Floyd won. Let that shit go. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing I'm very consistent on. So I don't say that to knock Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's win was still phenomenal. I don't think that Terrence Crawford beats him even if I don't think Errol Spence beats him even at 100%. Hell, I don't think Errol Spence beats him even at 154. But the fight happened at 147, and it's documented that he was struggling making weight. All these things considered, that it's okay to say that happened. That's just the truth. But he got his ass whooped, and that's the truth too. So you asked me, who do I think is the better finisher, Bud or Inoue? I personally would lead towards Bud, because But I might be wrong about this, but I'll never forget when they were, and this could be, hey, I don't know Japanese, so maybe Inoue has said the same thing in this corner when he's talking to his father, who I think is a phenomenal and underrated trainer, having Takuma Inoue and Naoya Inoue both being champions, and their cousin Koki Inoue being a former, is he a champion now? I think he lost his last fight, but he was a champion too, so I think that he's an underrated trainer. But I will say, and this could be a language barrier, maybe Inoue has said in the corner that, hey man, I'm about to knock this dude out, Pops. But I can't understand it, so I don't know. So I will say, I would omit that. But I would never forget when Terrence Crawford was told in his corner that he was losing to Sean Porter or it was a close fight. He's like, word, I'm about to knock this man out. And he went out there and dropped him. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget that. So I think Terrence Crawford, I would lean towards Terrence Crawford. But anyway, he's a good finisher too. Okay, let me catch up. What's up, legend? I think Crawford has the best instincts and improvisation of any boxer in the game by far. Hey, I like that. I think it's the reason why Crawford is so hard to beat. He had fundamentally sound, but when he needs to turn it on and do something that's not traditional, he will. Yes, bro. He can fight out of south. He goes seamlessly from southpaw to orthodox. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Speaking of, what the fuck is Ugas? That's crazy. Oh, where the fuck is Ugas? I don't know where your Dennis Ugas is. I think he got beat up pretty bad by I mean, when he lost to Mario Barrios his last fight, right? I don't think I've seen him since. I think Errol Spence got to damage him too. It's what separates him. A lot of fighters are predictable or easy to understand their game plan. Crawford's ability to switch between orthodox southpaw is, but yeah, exactly. Boots versus Ugas or Boots versus Ugas. I think Boots wins. I don't think Ugas is too big. No, I don't think Ugas is too big. Switch between being a boxer and a fighter is something that many fighters in the game are not capable. Like I said, sorry, I gotta read from my phone because my chat is messing up on my OBS for whatever reason. So I have to read from my phone. Robinson was both. Ali was both. Duran was both. Sanchez was both. And there are other fighters, but not many. That's a fact. Excuse me. Bud is the best finisher. Bud is a better finisher. What do you mean by better finisher? Quicker or more impressive? Well, that's a good question too. That's a good distinction. I would assume that he's talking about just the ability to get them out of there when they're in trouble. That's what I consider best finisher. Doesn't really matter to me if it's impressive or not. It just matters to me that if they get you hurt, you're out of there. And Inoue is definitely a testament to that. Inoue get you out of there. But like I said, I think caliber opponents. I think Crawford, and the people shit on Crawford's opponents, but I feel like they disrespect the fighters that he fought. Terrence Crawford beat a undefeated Yuriorkis Gamboa when he was at his most dangerous. Terrence Crawford beat Victor Postol when he was undefeated. You know, a champion. Terrence Crawford was the first person and the only person to knock out Jose Benavidez Jr., who went up and fought Jamal Charlo and still didn't get put out of there. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford got him out of there in the 12th round or the 11th round. I can't quite remember. Terrence Crawford also fought Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford also beat Kell Brook. Terrence Crawford also beat Amir Khan. So you could say that these people, his resume is bad. To me, when people say that Terrence Crawford hasn't fought anybody, that just lets me know that you don't really watch boxing. He hasn't fought anybody that you know. Just because you don't know who he fought doesn't mean that he hasn't fought anybody. Those things are not synonymous all the time. Sometimes they are, but not all the time. And I think people who say Terrence Crawford hasn't fought anybody, you're crazy. But as a sense of her blood, like no other boxer in today's game, it's like a mountain lion going in for a kill when he knows he goes for the kill. Facts. And anyway, also fought fighters in their prime. I know not in pound for pound list fighters, but they had no injuries. That's true. Marlon Tapales, Stephen Fulton, of course, Louis Neary. But that's the thing. When you say in his prime, Louis Neary, you know, I think he gets a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Louis Neary. I haven't seen him fight a lot, but when watching Louis Neary, he wasn't impressive to me. You know, I think sometimes people do hype up his opposition. Louis Neary is good, but is he great? I mean, Louis Neary lost. Didn't he lose to Brandon Figueroa? Would you say Brandon Figueroa is great? You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that because a lot of people don't look at these people's records. I do. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, I think Louis Neary lost to Brandon Figueroa. No disrespect to Brandon Figueroa, but yeah, he got knocked out by Brandon Figueroa. Are we shocked that he got knocked out by Naoya Inoue? Is Naoya Inoue not 10 times? I ain't gonna say no disrespect. Brandon Figueroa is good, but Naoya Inoue is on another stratosphere than Brandon Figueroa. And Brandon Figueroa knocked out Louis Neary, and Brandon Figueroa not. I've never heard anybody consider Brandon Figueroa good. I think he's good. There was a time when people thought he was next up and coming thing, you know, but he hasn't been considered good or great for. He never has been considered great, and if he was, what has been for a long time. So people don't know these things. So no, I don't. I think that in the history, every time Crawford beat his opponents, they never were the same. A lot of the careers kind of started to dip, which is a testament to Crawford. And he also fought fighters, but they had injuries. I hate how people ignore the fact that Spence had injuries before he fought Bud. Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the thing. Sydney Gang. I hated that people ignored his injuries even in his wins against Garcia and Ugas. I told people this all the time. I was like, man, we should really celebrate this more because Errol Spence is not the same, and he's still. I personally thought he shouldn't have fought again, and he's still fighting and winning. And Ugas is a former champion. Danny Swift Garcia is a former champion, and he's still beating these guys. I think people just forget about that. You know what I'm saying? And I think they disrespect Errol Spence, and especially when they don't consider that against Crawford. I think they should consider it, but like I said, more importantly, I think it trumps that the fact that he was still able to beat champions injured. It says something, and the fact that Terrell Spence was able to dominate him like that. I don't think that's. I don't think either should be forgotten. I don't think that we should forget that Errol Spence had injuries, but I also don't think that we should forget. And I also don't think that we should forget that Errol Spence been wanting to move up. But we also shouldn't forget that Terrence Crawford dominated Errol Spence, and I don't think anybody else would be able to do that, number one. And number two, I think we shouldn't forget that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are the ones that made that fight happen. You know what I'm saying? They have to make that fight happen. So shout out to Errol Spence. He's a warrior, if nothing else. Crawford goes for the kill. Take it anyway are more knockout artists. Crawford goes for the kill. There's a difference. Nice, but in a way are neck and neck in my opinion, but I respect it. In a way, Casemiro. But people say against Casemiro, Tyrone Jones in the building. I will say this though, GT. I think there is a difference. I see what you're. I think I see what you're getting at. I'm not gonna say I see completely, but I do think you're kind of splitting hairs. In my opinion, I think when I say that Terrence Crawford is the better finisher, I'm not saying that simply because he's overwhelmingly better. I think it's pretty close. So, in my opinion, I would like to hear what you say. I'll wait till you elaborate on that. Better finisher, better it goes for the kill. I think that now you in a way. This is what I think you mean by that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But how I interpret that is that now you in a way will kind of go and expose himself to go for the kill or try to get you up out of there. To go for the finish, but Terrence Crawford let it comes to him, and once it's there, he does it with precision. That's how I see that you say it. Like for example, when now you anyway got dropped by Louis Neary, I think he was going for the finisher right there, but I think he was trying to swing a home run shot. Terrence Crawford doesn't really do that. Terrence Crawford systematically breaks you down, and that's why I think that he's more. That's why I do agree with that. If that's what you're saying, I do agree that Terrence Crawford is the better. And that's why I say he's a better finisher, because he does it from a systematic standpoint. He does it. He will knock you out with a one-hitter quitter, but he doesn't need to, and he doesn't try to. He just takes what you give, and he just, you know what I'm saying? He sees that chink in your armor, and he breaks it down even more. So if that's what you're saying, I'm not sure. I don't want to put words in your mouth though. Is the PBC over if Tank loses? Nah, they still got David Benavidez. They still got David Benavidez. They still have Caleb Plant. I don't know why Caleb Plant's not getting fights. I don't know if it's Al Heyman and the PBC is doing, but I would like to see Caleb Plant in the ring. But they still have Caleb Plant. They still have Tank. They still have Frank Martin. Because if Tank loses, Frank Martin's with PBC. So if Tank loses, it's gonna go like this. they go flip flop. So no, I don't think so. And the way Shakur might join PBC. So we don't know. But no, I don't think it's over if Tank loses. Like I said, they still have David Benavidez. They still have they still have some good fighters, man. Hell, they technically still have Canelo. Hell. You see what I'm saying? Canelo's on PBC right now. You know, even though people look at Canelo as a free agent, I wonder why. You know, I wonder if he was on Golden Boy, if he was on Matchroom, would they still look at Canelo as a free agent? But Canelo's on PBC. We need to stop this, man. Come on now. Canelo is a PBC fighter. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, or whether you want to acknowledge it or not. I mean, that's where he fights at. So, and guess who else is? Hey, and who else said that? Who said that? Sorry, Supporter. Guess who? Guess what? Guess what? Supporter. Who are they saying is the next big star of Mexico outside of Canelo? We're not counting David Benavidez because David Benavidez is American. He's Mexican-American, you know, but he's American. If you're American, you're American. It don't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, or Asian, or whatever. If you're American, you're American. We could further describe your Americanism if you want. Like, Caleb Plant would be European-American. Tank would be African-American. David Benavidez would be Mexican-American, or he's Mexican and Ecuadorian and American, but he's American. So we talk about straight out of Mexico, right? Who do they say is the next big star out of Mexico, y'all? All together now. Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Guess who Isaac Pitbull Cruz is signed to? Motherfucking PBC. Excuse me. PBC. Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a PBC fighter. So no, PBC is not done if Tank loses. Now, if PBC has some other shit going on, I don't know. And maybe they might implode from something else going on. Let the way the narrative is getting drawn, let them people tell it. But Isak Pitbull Cruz, who's considered the next biggest Mexican star, is with PBC. Okay, then. Right, exactly. So you know what I'm talking about, supporter. I wonder how Pac, if the PBC over, if Tank loses, sorry about that. I wonder how Pac versus Spence would have turned out had they fought. If Pac won against Spence, I don't think Bud would be in the pound for pound list or even talked about. That's only because Bud fought a lot of bums. I disagree with that, Cindy. Again, like I said, I don't think Bud fought any bums, man. Like I said, I think Bud's record is underrated. That's number one. I don't think Naya anyway fought any bums either. I think bums is overused in the boxing community. I think robbery is overused. I think bums is overused, and I think casual is overused. Crawford, when he wants to fight, will bring something that is instinctual that's hard to explain. Predatory animals become more aggressive when defending themselves against potential threats. When Crawford feels hurt, losing, or needs to put away his opponent due to the thought his opponent may have changed something in his mind, functions differently than other fighters in today's game. Bud ain't fought bums. Yeah, I disagree with that. Prime example of Crawford's instincts are when he fought Porter. Yeah, I use Porter as an example. However, yeah. I mean, I agree, but I don't know. I think he's a dog, but yeah, I definitely think some animalistic instincts come out, but I don't know. I don't want to romanticize it. I feel like you romanticize it a little bit, but I don't disagree. I'll say that. I wouldn't have said it like that, but I don't disagree. When his corner told him he was losing in the 10th round, Crawford. Yeah, I said that, GT. You probably didn't hear me, but I literally brought that up as a reason as to why, to address the first question from Cine Gang. That's what I pointed to for taking Crawford over Inoue was the Porter incident. I take it back actually. Pitbull. Yeah, exactly, supporter. So I want to say this. But I want to say, Cine Gang, I'm not mad at that, because sometimes we get caught up in saying, oh, Crawford is better because of this, and Inoue is better because of this, or whatever. So a lot of times to me, a testament to how great you are is your respect for your peers. Crawford gets so much respect from his peers, bro. Inoue gets so much respect from his peers. I think that's the first sign of greatness. Usyk gets so much respect from his peers. Canelo, whether we like it or not, Canelo gets a lot of respect from his peers, just not the people that want to fight him like Devin Benavidez. So when you get respect for your peers, I feel like that's the biggest testament to your greatness. That's number one. Number two, a lot of times we get caught up in arguing with somebody who just wants to prove that the person that they like is better than the person that they think they're better than or they dislike. So I'm not mad at you for saying Terrence Crawford hasn't fought bums. I just vehemently and adamantly disagree with you. Just like I wouldn't say Inoue fought any bums. I feel like you can't fight champions and beat bums. Now, do I think that their opposition is equal? No, I do think that Terrence Crawford's fought better fighters. Even if you want to simply look at something that's superficial as being undefeated. You know, I do think, I'm not saying being undefeated is everything, but when you're undefeated, you essentially haven't been figured out yet. And I think that's important. So it's not only when you lose, like that's why I say with Devin Haney, right, and Ryan Garcia, it's not even about him just losing his record. If Ryan Garcia cheated, he has a blueprint has been found how to beat him. So now Devin Haney has to rebuild himself, not only from the bottom to the top, but he also has to kind of somewhat reinvent himself. Because up until then, when you lose, people don't really know exactly. They might think they know how to beat you. Thinking you know something and knowing you know something are two different things. So even if Ryan Garcia didn't beat, I mean, even if it becomes a no contest, and even if we think we knew that Devin Haney had a weak chin because of Jorge Linares, right? Jorge Linares gave us a peek through that window. Was like, hey man, Devin Haney he could be touched and wobbled, right? Jorge Linares showed us that. That's why I thought Devin Haney had a weak chin. Hell, go back and watch Tank sparring versus Devin Haney. And we saw he got wobbled. That's why I suspect that Devin Haney may have a weak chin. Hell, go back at Lomachenko. Lomachenko stunned him. Hell, that's why I think and I assume that Devin Haney had a weak chin. But Ryan Garcia kicked that freaking door down, and now we know. Nobody thinks that Devin Haney might have a weak chin, may have a weak chin. We feel like we definitively know that he has a weak chin, like we punched him ourselves. And if Ryan Garcia did that, accomplished that by having an illegal system, a legal substance in the system, I feel like that's criminal, man. That's criminal, man. So what I'm saying is that undefeated doesn't mean everything, but it does mean, assuming you didn't fight, like you said, bums, and you fought nobodies, then it means that you haven't been figured out. No one has effectively, convincingly, definitively figured out that how to beat you. So let me get back. Not a want to get okay, and not a want to be gangster. I believe Crawford's issues are what they are because of his upbringing, him getting shot. Yeah, facts. And him being a real guy who's been on the extra streets, not the one. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like your upbringing has a lot. I agree here on another level. Take it back, actually. So I'm not mad at you for thinking, you know, because sometimes when you want to rebuttal somebody, like if I say, oh, Inoue has fought way better competition than Crawford, then naturally somebody who thinks Crawford has fought better, they're gonna say, everybody that Inoue fought has been beaten before, or Inoue been fought bums, but we gotta try to be above that, and that's why I love my channel, and not saying we can't disagree, bro. Sydney Gang, I disagree with you, but you have never heard me say that you're wrong. I've never said that you're wrong about your opinion on Naoya Inoue because I think Naoya Inoue is great too. And sometimes you're splitting hairs on who you like. Sometimes it's just a matter of preference, and you got to understand that's okay. Some people act like, you know, it's unheard of that Crawford could be ranked higher than Inoue, or Inoue could be ranked higher than Crawford. Number one, it's a good conversation because they're both so great. That's why it's a good conversation. If they weren't great, then it wouldn't be a good conversation. Now, if someone comes and says somebody like, no disrespect, I'm going to disrespect whoever I pull out, but I'm just pulling up a random name. If someone says Jermaine Ortiz is better than Inoue, then they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes no sense. There's nothing that could lead to that besides him just being your favorite fighter. But there's stuff that I could literally bring into a debate and have an honest discussion and a fully functional and somewhat factual discussion about why I have Inoue over Crawford, or why I have Crawford over Inoue, or why I have Usyk over both, or whatever. Yo, Rio Shimada in the building. Kirby the best boxer they call the infinite pink store. That's crazy. What up with it, Rio? That sounds ill. It's crazy. The analogy would be there's 2 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, and the ball is on the goal line. Crawford's a guy, no matter what side of the ball, he's going to dig so freaking deep. Honestly, Crawford reminds you of Rocky in a way, and the Rocky movies, whenever it seemed that he was on the ropes and losing, he pulled himself out and did. Yeah, facts. But I mean, we got to give Inoue the same. That's why I say I don't know if that's a difference, because we got to give Inoue the same respect, because we haven't seen him, and the only time we've seen him in trouble, he responded, right? Louis Neary had him in trouble the first round, and he responded. So we got to give him some credit too. He has a mentality that's old school. It doesn't matter if he's tired or hurt, he will do something that cannot be explained. So yeah, so we got to give, like I said, I just like giving people credit. You know, I personally, I think Terrence Crawford is the best in the game right now. But if you actually be pound for pound, other factors besides being good comes into pound. Because if you're just going off the best, then Tank would be up there too, in my opinion, for pound, number 1, 2, or 3. Because I think from a skill standpoint, I think Tank is heavily underrated. But it's not just about skills. It's not just about knockout power. It's not just about footwork. It's not just about elusiveness. It's also about who you fought. It's not just about who you fought, but it's also about who you fought. It's also about your activity level. It's also about how many belts that you earned. It's also about how many weight classes have you been successful at. It's about a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's also about, it's not just about being undisputed, but it's also about being undisputed. So it's about different factors. So I don't think pound for pound is synonymous with being the absolute best, even though it's a measure, yes, but it's not literally about being the best, if that makes sense. Pound for pound is about normalizing the weight so we can effectively compare them, you know, and their feats. You know, just because someone has a feat, it's like what I tell people all the time, you know. You could argue who is a better basketball player, Steph or LeBron. You can't argue who would win if they played each other one-on-one. Sometimes they're different conversations. LeBron's gonna bust Steph Curry's ass all day. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So they're different conversations. Yes, they're the same, but they're different at the same time. You could be number 1 pound for pound, and sometimes it's about who's more effective or who has accomplished more. That's another mean that they're the best. Cause I mean, then in that case, it's hard to put anybody over heavyweight. I think Usyk is probably about number 1 right now, but if Crawford were to fight Canelo and beat him, then Crawford would be my number. I don't think Crawford has to beat Canelo to be number 1. If Crawford beats Madrimov, I'm putting him number 1. You know, he don't have to be undisputed at 154. He doesn't have to beat Canelo. He doesn't have to have 3 belts in 154 for me personally. But if he goes up to 154 on August 3rd and he beats Israel Madrimov and gets another belt, at 154, especially if he doesn't as convincingly as I anticipate him to do it. I have no problem putting him at number 1 again. No problem. In fact, I'm going to. It is what it is. So he doesn't even have to be Canelo. Now, if he beats Canelo, oh, he's for sure. He for sure number 1. But I don't think he has to beat Canelo to do that. But that's just my opinion on the thing. I do think that they're all discredited. You know, I've seen some circles discredit Usyk. I see some circles discredit Terrence Crawford. I see some circles discredit Naya anyway. So from that point of view, I think that you could say that they're all undervalued or underappreciated. But I think all logical people respect what they see in Terrence Crawford, Naya Inoue, and Usyk. I mean, hell, you should respect what you see in Canelo. You should respect what you see in Gervonta Tank Davis. You should respect what you see in the majority of fighters. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when people talk about Gervonta Tank Davis, they say Tank hasn't fought anybody. He has literally fought the guy who's a champion at 140. Tank literally fought him and beat him. And Isak Cruz, the same person that lost, moved up and got a belt at a higher weight division. People say, oh, well, he fought Raul Romero. Well, Mario Barrios also moved up and he's successful at 140. Not only did he move up from 140 and Tank fought him at 140, which Tank is really 135, Mario Barrios moved up to 147 and he's successful. And Tank beat him too. So it's like when people say Tank hasn't fought anybody, does that mean that he fought the same caliber of fighters as Terrence Crawford? No. Does it mean he fought the same caliber of fighters if you want to say Naya Inoue? Maybe not. But to say that Tank hasn't fought anybody is like I said, there's some things that people say lets me know that they don't really watch boxing like that. They just watch their favorite fighter and they watch TikTok clips. And they think that's what that means, you know what I'm saying? But there's no way that you can watch boxing and tell me somebody like Tank hasn't fought anybody. Leo Santa Cruz, he was a champion. Leo Santa Cruz is one of my favorite fighters. He beat him. He's a nobody. Jose Pedraza is a former champion. He's a nobody. Hector Garcia's a former champion. Is he a nobody? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking these questions. That's all. Don't shoot me. I'm just asking these thought-provoking questions. That's all. I'm not saying it neither way, neither here nor there. I'm just asking these questions. Asking all those questions. Asking all those questions. But I'm the same guy that thinks George Ferocious Kambosos is good. I'm the same guy that gives Lomachenko credit for being Kambosos, not because I like Lomachenko like the majority of these idiots are doing. Because it's so funny to me that people give Lomachenko credit for being Kambosos and saying it's a great win. But when Teofimo loses to Kambosos, they say that they call Kambosos a bozo. They say, oh, Teofimo lost to that clown, that bozo. Kambosos is a champion. So how can one person be a bozo when he fights Teofimo, but then years later he's a great win for another fighter because you like him? I say that Lomachenko was a great win for Kambosos because I also say that Teofimo's loss to Kambosos wasn't that bad. I had Teofimo winning, but it's not a bad loss. He lost to a champion. And I'm the same person that say that Devin Haney beating George Kambosos are 2 good wins. I'm not saying that, oh, they're mediocre wins. But the same people that say that Lomachenko is a great win against Kambosos because they like Lomachenko are the same people that were just calling Kambosos a bozo when he fought Devin Haney and when he fought Teofimo. That's contradictory. But you don't even know your own contradictory because you're so blinded by your hate or your love for another fighter. Your hate for these fighter or certain fighter or your love for another fighter. You think Crawford at 168 would be slower? Yes. I think Crawford at 168, I think he'll be slower, but I still think he'll be faster than those at 168. However, I don't think that he'll be so fast to where the size it would be sufficient enough to supplement for his size, for the size disparity. And I'm not just talking about verticality when I say size. I'm talking about girth, pause, like girth, like width, and
what?
You know what I'm saying? Like people, like I said, I think Crawford can beat Canelo because I think Crawford's so great. However, Canelo, like I said, if I'm making a fighter, I would damn near make Canelo because I've watched Canelo's fights. You tell me when outside of Jose Miguel Cotto, when have you ever seen Canelo hurt? I'm not saying he never been hurt. I'm not saying he hasn't felt some punches, but tell me when you show me when you visibly seen and it could unequivocally say that has been hurt. So when people say that, Terrence Crawford will be able to beat Canelo, I'm not saying that he won't be able to, but I don't like when people say that he'll hurt Canelo. How do you know that? What evidence leads you to believe that Canelo could be hurt by Terrence Crawford? If I've never seen him hurt by Sergey Kovalev at light heavyweight, I've never seen Canelo hurt by Dmitry Bivol at light heavyweight. I've never seen him hurt by Triple G at super middleweight 3 times. I've never seen him hurt by Jaime Munguia at super middleweight. I've never seen this man hurt. He's been in the ring with Hall of Famer Sugar Shane Mosley. He's been in the ring with Hall of Famer Miguel Cotto. He's got schooled, and he was by Hall of Fame, potentially greatest of all time, my opinion, the greatest of all time, Floyd Mayweather, but I've never seen him hurt. We just seen Erislandy Lara, who I think Erislandy Lara beat Canelo, but we just seen Erislandy Lara knock out Michael Zarafa a month ago. He didn't hurt Canelo. So why would I think that Terrence Crawford would be? I'm not saying it can't be done, but why would you show me what evidence leads you to believe that he will hurt Canelo? And then I'll listen. There's nothing throughout Canelo's career besides Jose Miguel Cotto, when that was a young Canelo, that tells me that Terrence Crawford would hurt Canelo. That's my biggest thing. So it's not even about Canelo hurting Terrence Crawford. Yeah, that sounds good. He'll be faster than Canelo. Canelo won't be able to hit him. I don't know why people say that either, because I like Terrence Crawford, but Terrence Crawford's not an evasive fighter. Terrence Crawford likes to trade hair. Errol Spence, if you watch that fight, Errol Spence got to him. When he got to him, he couldn't hurt him. If Canelo could get to to Crawford like Errol Spence got to Crawford, he gonna feel it, in my opinion. So people have to also consider the fact that Canelo has fought bigger men, and his durability is proven. So it's not even just about, if you're gonna say Terrence Crawford might outbox Canelo, okay, maybe for 10 rounds and beat him on points. But those that think he's gonna hurt him, now there is such thing as effective punching, yes. And Crawford he's a very effective puncher. We already know that. So he could hurt him and precise. I don't think he's strong, but his precision is something to be said too. So he could do it, but will he do it? I don't know. I have no reason to believe that Terrence Crawford will hurt Old Cinnamon. And for those that think he will, I want to know why you think that. I really want to know what leads people to believe that. Even though, like I said, I think he can win. I'm just honest enough to say that I'm not sure how. But because I have so much faith in Crawford, I think that he could do anything in that ring, be honest. So I think he could do it. But I'll be lying to you if I said how. At the moment, 7 votes, Crash is 6 for DK. Answer later, you cook it at the moment. Who would win in the dance off? Donkey Kong? That's crazy. I go with Donkey Kong because he gonna learn from Funky Kong. You know what I'm talking about, Rio? My bad, I was cooking. Didn't Cotto? Who? Not Miguel Cotto. Jose, his brother hurt him. Not Miguel Cotto, not the Hall of Famer Miguel Cotto. Triple G is the most powerful boxer he fought. Reality is Canelo should have lost to Triple G in the first fight. Him losing and him being hurt are two different things. GT, that's not the same thing. I agree that. I mean, it's not reality. You could say reality. I thought I was cool with the draw. I thought Triple G won the first fight. I thought Erislandy Lara should have beat Canelo, but I thought the first fight was close. But I do agree with that Triple G should have won. But saying reality, I mean, we seen close fights go for one person and go for another person. So I can't say reality. There's no debate, but anyway, yep. Well, the reality in Canelo is the only guy he'd fight. And wait, what? GT? Oh, you're saying the only guy that Bud will fight at 168? Right. So we don't know. So my point is that, once again, my question was to you: what evidence lets you know that he will hurt him? The key word was evidence. We could go off what we think. I said evidence. Canelo was hurt when Oscar said he was. Kendrick in the building. My God. That was rigged. Yeah, I think Lara and Canelo was rigged. I'm not gonna agree with you that the first one was rigged. The Wolves better win. Didn't Cotto hurt Canelo? Jose Miguel, the older brother Cotto. Crawford's weakness has always been smaller fighters. Whatever he fights, taller fights, he crushes them. Canelo's not just taller. You're talking about taller people in his weight class. And number one, Canelo and Crawford's they're not that different. Canelo and Crawford are the same height, basically. I think Canelo is 5'8" and Crawford's 5'7". So a lot of people mistake that too. They get that wrong. They think Canelo's bigger than him from a height standpoint. No, he's bigger than him from a mass standpoint, not a verticality standpoint. That's why I said that earlier. You know, Canelo and Crawford are about the same height. Oh, you know? So why'd you say when he fights taller fighters, he crushes them? What does that have to do with Canelo? Canelo's not that much taller than him. So if you know that, why'd you say that? I'm literally asking you, GT. I'm not coming at you. I'm asking you. Oh, they're the same height? Yeah. So, I mean, so why'd you say that he crushes taller fighters? Was that, if you know they're the same height, what was the point of making that comment? Bud got an outbox, but Canelo is full-fledged 160 that power. Exactly. I was saying in general. Oh, okay. Yeah, when it comes to Canelo, they're the same height. So I mean, if there is a height differential, it's like 1 inch. I thought he was 1 inch taller, but I mean, even 1 inch, it don't mean nothing. So like I said, I don't. If you ask me right now today, if Crawford and Canelo fought, and you told me somebody got hurt, I would 100% say that Crawford got hurt. Why would I think that Canelo? Why would I think Crawford hurt Canelo? Now I tell you, that's what I think. It's like Boots, right? I tell people all the time, I think Boots has the ingredients to be a pound for pound talent. I think Boots has the ingredients to be one of the best fighters in the game. But I don't know that because I haven't seen him fight anybody else that I know is good. His best opponent was what? Who? Royman Villa, or Thomas Delorme, who Terrence Crawford got out, beat him 3 years prior or 6 years prior to Crawford to Bud fighting him. So it's one thing to think something, it's another thing to know something. I can't say there's no evidence. If I see Canelo in there with light heavyweights, why would I think a 147 pounder could beat him? Somebody who spent the majority of their career at 140 and 147, why would I think that person could hurt a person that I've never seen hurt against light heavyweights, 175 and 168? We've seen Jaime Magia hit him flush a couple times. Did you see him hurt? No, I didn't see him hurt. And his toughest fights were against smaller guys. Who do you think? Who would you say Crawford's toughest fights are? I don't know who his toughest fights are. Who would you say? I mean, I would even though he did well against I think Jose Benavidez Jr. was a tough fight. He did well, but I thought it was a tough fight. I thought Sean Porter was a tough fight. It was a good fight, but it was a tough fight. I thought that what's that one guy? The guy that I disagree with this now, but the guy that they said who they say dropped him? was it Kaviaskis or Kaliaskis, whatever his name is, or was it David Avanesian? One of them. I can't remember which one they said dropped him, which I disagree with. But you know, those fights weren't the easiest. So I thought him and Victor Postal was a tough fight, and you said that he crushes him. Not necessarily a tough fight because Terrence Crawford whooped him, but it went the distance, you know. So it depends on what you mean. What you mean by tough? I don't know. I'll have to think who his tough fight was. Because I remember him fighting Bradis Prescott, even though I think he whooped him, but that went the distance too. So not going the distance doesn't mean it's a tough fight. But I'm curious to know who you think was his toughest fight. He said Ilgauskas, Judas Ilgauskas. Hey, GT, you disrespectful, bro. He called this man Ilgauskas like the center from the Cleveland Cavaliers, bro. So Judas, you mean Kaviaskis. That's funny as hell, bro.
Here you go.
Hey, that's funny.
Shit. Yeah, I'm tired of that. It was so disrespectful.
Porter again, boy.
You done hit me
That
in
was
my
funny
mouth.
as hell,
God
GT. I ain't gonna lie. Porter was definitely one of his toughest. Yeah, I think Porter. I lean towards Porter, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. That's a good question. But hey, let me go use the bathroom real quick, man. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna go use the bathroom, and while I do, we're gonna run this ad real quick.
Yo, it's Dr. Boxer Talk. Y'all know what it is, man. We in the building, man. The doctor's in the house. I just want to thank y'all for real, man, for the bottom of my heart, you know, for even considering becoming a member, you know, and just want to let you know how much it means to me. You know, the support means a whole lot, man. You know, I always thank God and I always keep it real, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that y'all appreciate the authenticity and me being genuine with all my boxing takes, you know what I'm saying? I have my PhD in engineering, you know, yes, I'm really a doctor, which is just an example and a testimony to how we keep everything real, to keep everything funky, man, and y'all appreciate that. So that really goes a long way to me, you know, and that support goes a long way to keep the lights on, man, and all that stuff. So So without that support, I wouldn't be able to do these videos. You know, I left a lot of money on the table, to pursue my dream of content creation, especially in the boxing realm, in the boxing space, as opposed to going and getting a job in industry or academia and making money using my degrees. You know, I decided to chase my dreams. You know what I'm saying? And I just took a leap of faith and, and put God first. And, you know, I give y'all genuine takes, and y'all really appreciate that. So that means a whole lot to me. I'm not going to keep you up any longer. I'm not going to hold you up any longer, but I just want to say thank you for considering being a member, because without y'all, then this channel would be nothing, you know what I'm saying, without that support. And this is what y'all do too right here, man. You see these big monsters right here? You see these monsters right here? That's Bandit right there. And that's Kimba, man. They eat a whole lot, you know what I'm talking about? So that helps put food on their plate and mine too, you know. So thank y'all, man. Big salute. Love y'all. Remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we are nothing. I appreciate the members, man. Thank you.
I'm muted. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I was gonna say I agree with you, Kendrick, saying that Porter was the only fight that I thought he was losing. Yeah, I thought it was close. I didn't really think he was losing, but I thought it was close. I was just trying to think about the toughest fights that he had. But I said that I made another commercial, Kendrick, and you're in it. So I have 2 ads now. I ran the first one earlier. Yeah, you in it too. I'm getting Hollywood, you know what I'm talking about, running my own ads, you know what I'm saying, trying to get the members up, man. Thank you for letting me know I'm muted, though. But Crawford decoded that fight. Gamboa was tough, too, yeah. I thought Gamboa was more scary than tough, if that makes sense. Like, I was like, man, I was worried for Crawford right there. And to be honest with you, when he was fighting Crawford, I was actually going for Gamboa. I'm going to be honest. At that time, I was going for Gamboa. I was following Gamboa more. I remember that fight. I was excited for it, though, because I knew about Terence Crawford. But I was more excited for Yuriokas Gamboa. But then that's what he made me a believer. I was like, ooh. That's what he made me a believer. I don't know if that was really tough. I just think it was scary because Yuriokas, you know, he had that Mike Tyson aura. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was really tough. I don't really remember it. I have to watch it again, but I don't remember it being tough. I just remember it being, going into it being scary. You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, shit. This man, Gamboa, finna get another victim. I'll be honest. I think Crawford at 147 was much better fighter than his lower weights. And I have a feeling 154 may be the best weight. Ooh, maybe you're right. I mean, that's what Bomac's been saying. So, like I said, hey, GT. So I want to be very clear. If Canelo and Crawford fight, I'm putting money on Crawford because I think he'll win. The part where I'm rebuttaling you and I'm just asking these questions because I'm not sure why. Like, you know, I think that Crawford, like I said, Floyd is a fighter I'd never bet against. Crawford is the closest thing to that, you know. I may bet on Canelo. I'm 50-50 on Canelo and Crawford. But I think I would bet on Crawford just because, like I said, I think he'll find a way. I'm with you on that. But I'll be lying if I could tell you that I'm confident that, oh, yeah, he's going to beat Canelo because he's going to make Canelo miss. No, Crawford will trade. I'll be lying if I said, oh, yeah, I'm definitely certain that Crawford could take Canelo's punch. I don't know that. I'll be lying if I said, oh, yeah, Crawford's going to knock out or hurt Canelo. I don't know because I've never really seen Canelo hurt besides against Miguel Cotto. I mean, not Miguel Cotto, Jose Cotto. And that was Canelo was like, what, 19? So I don't know what I'll point to, but I do believe in Crawford that much, you know. So yeah, don't get it twisted. So I know I'm seems like I'm combating you, and we just having a discussion. I'm just telling you that, hey man, I'm not as convinced as you is what I'm saying. I think for a guy like Crawford to not have to cut or really cut that much is massive because of how cerebral he is. Crawford spends so much time conditioning, working to make weight. That's true. Crawford can take a bullet, fuck a Canelo punch. Yeah, that sounds good. Being able to just focus on boxing now and conditioning is massive. Like I said, that sounds good, man. I don't know, man. I'm not just gonna like. I know boxers walk around heavier, so you got to give Canelo the same thing. Like if you think Crawford is more comfortable at a heavier weight, then you got to think that Canelo functions at a bigger weight too. So like I said, I don't know. I would have Crawford just out of respect how good I think he is, but Canelo is an all-time great in my opinion too. So like I said, it would depend on the build-up and what I see, and I probably would make a decision that day, but I would put money on Crawford. But it's not because I think that, oh, he's just going to walk through Canelo. Nah. I feel like the smart money would be on Canelo. If I be honest with you, I think the smart money would be on Canelo. A lot of people think of Floyd and Oscar, but Floyd, like I said, Floyd is different. Floyd fights a more evasive defensive fight. He makes you, he's a better counter puncher. You know, he's a counter puncher. He's going to make you miss. Crawford doesn't really make people miss. He's a beast. He's a hell of a counter puncher, though. You know, he gets off by throwing more effective punches. You know, his punches are more precise and more accurate. You know, he's not really he's not an evasive fighter. And I say that I mean, if you think I'm lying, go watch Errol Spence and fight Errol Spence. If you look past him knocking down Errol Spence, if you look, Errol Spence got to him a couple times. Just when he got to him, he wasn't effective. So I don't know if Canelo will be as ineffective. You think Canelo tries to apply pressure? I think he loses if he lets Crawford counter him. Like I said, my biggest thing is that Crawford, I'm not sure Crawford could stop Canelo from. That's the thing. That's my biggest worry. My biggest worry. I'm not sure Crawford could stop Canelo's pressure. Because we're not gonna act like Canelo is not a precise puncher either. I mean, look what he did to Jaime Munguia. If you watch Canelo and Jaime Munguia, you can't tell me Canelo wasn't picking his spots. And you can't tell me that he couldn't have got Munguia out of there if he really wanted to. I mean, you could tell me that, but I wouldn't listen. So I don't know if he applies pressure, Kendrick. I'm not sure, but if he does, I don't know if Crawford can stop it. Number one. Number two, I'm not sure that Canelo would need to apply pressure because, like I said, Crawford, and like GT said, Crawford is a fighter, bro. He's gonna fight. Crawford, every fight he fights. You know what I'm saying? He's not a fighter that's gonna. That doesn't mean that he's not capable of doing it, but he's not a fighter that's gonna be evasive. That's not how he fights. Crawford fights. You fight Canelo if you want to. I don't know. Bro was black. That's a fact. Jaime Munguia was doing the Jaime. That's what. Hey, chat. We gonna make that a big term. We gonna explode that term in the boxing arena, man. We gonna call blocking with your face the Jaime. Jaime was doing the Jaime. You know what I'm talking about? Crawford's IQ is to set up traps. Yes, of course he sets up traps. Yes, of course. Of course he sets up traps. Exactly what you just said. Crawford's game is to get tagged. You don't want to get tagged by a person that's 3 divisions bigger than you, bro. That's not a good game plan. So you prove my point and why I'm unsure about it. Sean Porter was touched. Sean Porter got to him. You see what I'm saying? He will trade, so it's a trap. But everything comes at an expense. And Canelo also sets traps. And Canelo's a good counter puncher as well. And Canelo has great head movement. But like I said, I think it can happen. I think Crawford can win, but I also think Canelo can win too. It's gonna be a chess match. Yes, I agree. I think it'll be a chess match. But we can't act like Bud doesn't roll with punches, which is why he doesn't get hurt as much. That's true. I don't think he could use a jab against Canelo but when Crawford throws the over jab, it is a thing of beauty. That's a fact. Like what he did to Errol Spence. I'm not sure if he could out jab Canelo. I don't know if that's a good game plan against Canelo for Terrence Crawford. But we'll see though. We'll see. Yeah, I really have to sit and think about it. He could jab him up though, yeah. The way for Crawford to beat Canelo is the same way he did against Spence. I disagree with that. See, that's what I'm saying, GT. I feel like you significantly if he tries to fight Canelo like he fought Spence, bro, you cannot tell me that he could take Canelo's punches like he took Spencer's punches. Everybody was shocked that he was taking Spencer's punches like that. But I think that's a testament to him being drained a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's an excuse, but I think Errol Spence was struggling to make the 147. But I don't know. We'll see though, man. That's why it's such a great fight. But yeah, I don't think he could fight. I think if he fights him, I think if he lets Canelo touch as much as Spence did, I think he's in trouble. It's not a jab to outland Canelo like what Bivol did, bro. You're telling me that Canelo. That's my point. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you something. When you just said Bivol, right, GT? You said like Bivol did. Bivol's 175. If you watch Canelo and Bivol, how do you think that fight happened? How do you think that fight went down? Well, what are your thoughts on that? When I watch Canelo versus Bivol, I don't think Canelo got outclassed. I think Canelo literally looked like Bivol was just too big for him. That's it. I don't think that, even Bivol was like, man, he was hitting my arms and my arm was whatever, messed up for however long he said. So if you think that Bivol outclassed Canelo I just think that Canelo wasn't as effective and he wasn't able to dictate the ring as much as he thought he would, because Bivol size means something. So maybe you could be right. I just disagree with that. And Bivol's a great boxer too, just like Crawford. But I don't think they fight the same. I don't think Crawford and Bivol. I think that's a bad example. I don't think Bivol and Crawford fight the same. I don't even think that they have the same objective when they fight. He got to be like he was against Porter in the last round. I agree with that. Bivol is phenomenal on the back foot, right? And because of his boxing off the back foot, Bivol beat Canelo because of his jab and because of his boxing off the back foot. Yes, and because he was a bigger guy. He was able to do that because he was the bigger guy. He was able to take Canelo's punches better than most. What happens when people usually fight off the back foot against Canelo? They get walked down. Am I tripping? Bivol was able to do that and fight like that because he was able to handle Canelo's punches better than most. So don't make it seem like he was just walking off the back foot and Canelo wasn't touching him. That's not how that fight went. That Canelo got to Bivol too. And Bivol was able to back Canelo up when he wanted as well. Come on, man. We watched the same fight, right? Bivol boxes that very traditional style. Yeah. He's a beast. Crawford is also an excellent boxer off the back foot. Yes, but he's smaller. Bro, come on, GT. Crawford is an excellent fighter off back foot, front foot, all that. Southpaw orthodox, but he's smaller. He's not Bivol size. That's the difference. That means something. It's like an ant, right? If an ant was the size of a human, an ant would lift a building. But an ant's not the size of a building, so he's not lifting the building, and he gets stomped on because I'm bigger. So that means something. You know what I'm saying? Size means something. If we was as strong as an insect, if an insect was the same size as a human, boy, there'll be a different rule of the animal kingdom, and it wouldn't be a human, an elephant, or a lion. It'll be an ant or a praying mantis. So yes, of course they have strength, but size means something. It don't mean everything, but it means something. Yeah, front foot, side foot, back foot, all foots. Left foot, right foot. Yeah, Crawford can do everything. I'm not questioning Crawford's capability. But I'm not omitting Canelo's. First of all, Canelo's also a good boxer. That's number one. So it's not like Canelo is just a plotter or something like that. Canelo might have the best head movement in boxing right now. And for a long time. Not saying that Crawford's going to go for the head or headhunt like that anyway, but Crawford's over jab is really, really good. That's a fact. And Bomac knows it too. Crawford, in my honest opinion, doesn't throw it enough from Basapa. I agree. I think that goes to what, like you said, with Crawford, he gonna do what he wants to do. And I think that's what makes him good too, is unpredictability. So like I said, GT, I'm not saying that you have great points. Like I said, my biggest question is just, I gotta see it, man. We gotta see. But shoot, chat. How long we been on, man? We've been on for 3 hours. I was about to get off an hour and a half ago. Shout out to Smoochie and GT for coming and kicking it with me, and Kendrick and everybody. You know what I'm talking about? 'Cause I'm about to get off, man. He loads his power with quick. That's a fact. And look, Crawford may knock out Canelo. He may hurt Canelo. I don't know. I would just say I feel like I have more reason to believe that he won't than I do. I have more reason to believe that he won't hurt him than I have to believe that he will hurt him. That's what I'm saying. But as an observer of boxing, I agree with you a lot of stuff. Crawford looks great. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I believe it'll be a close fight. Because otherwise, why would I think a 140 or 140? If I didn't believe in Crawford, why would I think that a person coming from 140 or 147 will stand even a chance against Canelo? So the fact that I think it's a good fight is kudos and major props to Terrence Crawford. But however, people underestimate and underrate Canelo as well. Canelo is on that pound for pound list too, baby. He's been for a long time. He was number 1 for a while until he lost to Bivol. You know, so Canelo, the reason why Canelo could stand and hang with them boys that are bigger than him at 175 is because he's a beast. He never pressed off his heels. Duran was a master of quick and short power connections. Roberto Duran, he stayed flat-footed, with generates a lot more force, but also makes you less agile. Yep. That's a fact, man. So we get ready for the fight tomorrow. Hey, Kendrick, you in here? I appreciate all the members, man. Shout out to Kendrick and all that, man, and everybody. I appreciate all the members. Shout out to Kendrick and Merle, my 2 members now. Let's get right. Let's get to 10 members by the end of next week. That'll be fire. And also to shout out to Smoochie, Tyrone, and Spaniard. You know what I'm saying, for the stickers and the super chats and everything else. You know what I'm saying, and bonbons. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. If Kendrick was in here, I was gonna run the other ad so he could see it, but if not, I'm about to go ahead and slide, man. Appreciate y'all rocking me as always. Please don't forget to like the video as well. We had a great conversation. Stayed on way longer than I anticipated, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying that bad. That's a good thing because I didn't think we were going to talk this much. So that's fire, man. I love talking about boxing. I love it. So it means I enjoy it, man. So y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. God bless. Remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we are nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Catch you on the flip side. We'll be on tomorrow. Good luck. Wait. The game is on tomorrow. I might be on tomorrow. It depends if we have some stuff to talk about. You know, we'll see. But definitely, I'm always on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at a minimum at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, we go live for all the boxing. We provide live boxing commentary for all the fights. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's on Tuesday in Japan or Saturday afternoon in England or Saudi Arabia or Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? We there. Or even Wednesday fights as well. So y'all be easy. God bless, man. Take care. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.